You should, if you're in town next Tuesday, you should come hang out at that one.
Yeah,
we do them once a month at the store, and so we took a few months off. But got Kevin Nealon, Stamos, Eric Andre, and Rich Eisen.
Stamos?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Uncle Jesse?
Oh yeah.
Uncle Jesse's gonna be there?
Oh yeah, dude.
I love me some Uncle Jesse.
Oh yeah, dude.
He was just ripping on drums I saw on Instagram.
Dude, you see that? Dude was in a Beast Boys cover. He's got a good like Elvis impersonation as well.
I just want to smell his fingers. But I think that there is, and I'm definitely gonna ask him that. I wouldn't ask him that as Adam, but as Dr. Phil. I mean, who gives?
Oh my God. What do you think his connection with Aunt Becky is nowadays? Did she see the kids go to jail from your school?
I mean, bro, see, these are the things too that I feel like I want to bring up, but. Yeah, he probably has her back. There's such a the Full House crew is such a tight knit fam. Like I still see pictures of them all hanging out. Like I'm sure there's a part of him that's
R.I.P.
like
Sag. Yeah. Anytime you ask any of the comics about Saget, they're all like, "We lost a good one." Like he was a good dude. People loved him.
Yeah, he was nice to everybody. It's such an easier. I mean, it's such an easy thing to. Are we going by the way, or do you want to?
No.
Yeah. Do you want to start? Oh yeah, I don't know.
All right, here we go.
I could tell another Saget story, but I don't know if you want to capture it or not. But
no, we're good.
That one's probably not good for an opener. Anyway, here's how Saget died, dude. But the Seahawks, I think it was a touchdown, man. Speaking of shitty calls that weren't made, he should have called the hospital just like the ref should have called a flag. Yeah.
Welcome to Games with Names. I'm Julian Edelman. They're Jack and Kyler. And we're on a mission to find the greatest game of all time. And on today's episode, we are covering the Fail, Marry game with comedian, Seattle super sports fan, and the man that made Dr. Phil hilarious, Adam Ray. And we get into talking what it takes to do a great impression. Need some tips.
Bill Burr, big fan. He goes, thanks, buddy. Off.
You're Bill Burr. Bringing back the Supersonics. Where the did they go?
I got more into football once the Sonics left.
And what it's like to play Dr. Phil.
Getting into the makeup really helps to get lost in something.
And then we play a little Jack Asks.
Ooh. Jackass?
Jack Asks.
Jackass?
In this week's Chill Zone presented by Coors Light. You got to stick around to the very end. Let's go. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. September 24th, 2012, Lumen Field, Seattle, Washington.
With zeros on the clock, Russell Wilson heaves a prayer from the Green Bay 40.
The pass is incomplete. No, wait, it's a touchdown? This is the Fail Mary. Welcome to Games with Names. We have a special guest, Adam Ray, in the Nut Health studio today to talk about the Fail, Marry game between the Packers and Seahawks.
Yeah. Week
3 of the 2012 season. Adam, in one sentence, why this game?
First of all, great to be here. First time caller, long time listener. The setup is great. There's a trampoline in the back. He has an in-house Postmates guy that is just always on the ready to give out broccoli cheddar soup from Panera. Uber Eats, that's right. I see the commercials. We'll edit that out. We'll get your boy. What was it again? Curtis?
I'm Kyler.
Kyler.
Same thing.
Fucking,
we'll take it.
Yeah, same thing. Feels like a Curtis. Where were you on January 6th? But there was a time where the Seahawk-Packer rivalry was hotter than it is now, but I think this game really kind of took it up a notch. In one sentence, what happened that day?
No, why you picked this game?
Why I picked this game is I think this game definitely is almost like it's talked about more than we think. I think as far as you can attest this better than anybody, but the amount of blown calls there have been historically, not just in every sport, right? But I don't know if I put this on them being replacement refs as much as I put this on. Fuck. All right. In one sentence, I picked this game because I didn't want to talk about my parents' divorce, and this was the second saddest thing I could think of because I feel like, and I don't want to say as a Hawks fan that they got it wrong, but. I mean, I definitely was with my buddies watching this because this was early. This was the start of Russell Wilson's campaign.
Yeah,
this was like this was Matt Flynn was the guy. Oops a daisy. Hold that thought, Matt. Go fuck yourself. we got this, 30th round pick who, is girl's a little, she doesn't have all the updates on her hard drive. Some of the players might try to fuck her. Maybe they will fuck her. We don't know. Pete Carroll's going to chew his gum all the way till the end. They're going to bond over Jesus and, chocolates and whatever. Everything was hunky-dory. And I think I picked this game because I think this was the momentum swing that this was for the Seahawks for the rest of the season was huge. It was an ESPN game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was
Gruden.
Again, I think it was Gruden calling it, probably being like, this definitely. I can't do a Gruden, but let's do if Jason Statham was doing it. Oh, this is a shitty fucking call. So, there's fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right there. Who knows where Russell's? Can we do a VH1's Where Are They Now? Crazy fucking women. That I don't know.
Excitement.
Is it? I've been excited.
Excitement.
I didn't look like I was going to eat my significant other, but she's got Tony Robbins gums, but she's also got there is an excitement. You're right. But it's also like she saw, to me, I see that she sees like, oh, I'm set for life. And then she's like, oh, Golden Tate, what does your dick smell like? And so allegedly, we'll be right back. We'll keep right here. But Jules, this game was the
kickstart.
Was a Kickstarter, I think, for what the run that the Seahawks had from 2012 to, I guess you could say 2014, right?
Yeah.
But I remember being like, I can't believe they got it wrong. And then I think, as every fan does, you convince yourself that like, no, actually,
they got it right.
And when people would ask me, and I think this was the right move on my part as a fan, people were like, they blew it. And then after a while, you're like, I definitely admitted to, yeah, that was a wild call. And then I think I got real defensive about it and was like, nah, dude, they nailed it, dude. These replacement refs need to come back, dude. They are the guys. They are dialed in. And this shot, even just of, it was perfectly timed too. 84 was like looked up, and I think he saw this guy going up. And so he was like, yeah, maybe he thought he was going to go like this and then to the side, but they are probably still talking about this over Facebook Messenger or something. Maybe they live together now and they honestly should start a reality show or a podcast called Bad Calls and just go over all the calls that have come through after this one. But
they're literally like retired.
They're done?
No, they're literally like retired like cops and firefighters that like got the call to go up to the bigs as the replacement refs.
That's how the replacement refs work. They really dug deep.
They go for like the high school. I think they were high school, college guys.
There was a guy who got fired from the lingerie.
He was fired from the lingerie football league.
Fired from the lingerie
incompetence.
football league.
And they said he was trying to do too many jersey swaps after the game too.
Oh my God, I love that guy actually. He's like, dude, I have 4 games in me max. Like, I want to get as many ciggies as I can. I've got a stepson who doesn't talk to me. He calls me Dustin. Like, this is not where I want to be. Things did not go according to plan. So let me just get as much out of this as I can. It's almost like, so these refs were the equivalent of like, let's say the porn industry went on strike and you got a bunch of pervs in the Midwest that are on OnlyFans, and all of a sudden the porn industry is like doing a mass casting call, and they're like, we need dicks. And these guys are just like, they're just constantly going to the pen. Is that what these guys were?
Pretty much that.
Probably a better analogy.
I just thought about the South Park special they just did on that.
Oh, yeah.
With Randy doing the fucking OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah. So good.
Now, is this the greatest game of all time?
No. Well, for my Seahawks?
Of all time. Where this is the mission of this show is to find the greatest game of all time. Is this the greatest game of all time? We ask every person.
Well, let me.
No is an acceptable answer.
That's a heavy answer. Well,
no is an acceptable answer.
Do you just want a yes or no answer, or do you want me to actually try to discuss it?
Let's discuss it.
Yeah. What if I just said no, and you're like, all right, that's Adam Ray on Instagram.
No,
Thanks for being here.
That's how Jules does podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Short and sweet. It was a great game. I'm not a fan of low-scoring games.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
So the fact that this was, I think, 12-7 before this last play was not exciting. I want a 30-26 or a 37-35. Like, I think everybody does. I went to the Dodgers game last night. It was 15-2, and it was like almost exhausting. Getting up every other at bat, but it was like Yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah.
Like there was 46,000 people there. They were going bananas every hit. But this was Legion of Boom defense, so we were pretty dialed in. Greatest game ever. I mean, if the NFC Championship before we ate shit against you guys was pretty good. Again, you want a game. For me, I go greatest game like I want the emotions.
This is
all
definitely
over
there.
the place.
And
this game had it. I would put this in a top Seahawks game for sure. I don't know if I go top 5, but I'd probably go top 10.
Well, it's definitely a memorable game that, I was playing this game. I remember, or this season, and we were playing in Baltimore. I think this week or the next.
Not the next, because they solved it after this game. They
Then it
brought
was
the real
this
refs
week.
back instantly
Right
after
after
this game.
Yeah.
2
That
days
makes
later.
sense.
2 days later,
The Thursday
they
game
solved
after,
it.
they had real refs.
Because this was a huge.
This was a huge story.
Everybody was going.
I mean,
nuts.
we were watching this, and we were watching it as a team together. Like, all right, guys, we don't know how consistent the calls are going to be.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
let it get. We see this clear right here. Let's not let our emotions get to us. Like that's what Bill would say. You know what I mean? I got like an OPI call from some dude, fucking stupid. I remember this whole fake ref thing. But let's talk about you and what you do these days.
Yeah.
You just went to a Dodgers game. I mean, what a life. What a life.
Are we gonna keep this part in?
Yeah. I love that.
Dude, Katie
What's-
Couric over here, table for one.
What a life, baby.
So you had breakfast this morning. Congrats. Did you chew it yourself? Yeah, man. Went to the Dodgers game. Family was in town. First of all,
I was gonna segue to like what's life like these days, but
great,
clearly,
great.
I mean,
No,
we got
no,
Dodgers
I love
games
it.
over
Dodgers
here.
games. I mean, it was cool. My
Dr.
buddy.
Phil everywhere. I mean, I went and saw the show.
You were a
got
part of it,
shows,
baby.
live shows everywhere.
Live
I just
shows.
wanted to know what the
I appreciate
day in the
Jules.
life, Bubs.
Dude, you're killing it, dude. Never change. Have a bomb ass summer. How would you sign a yearbook, by the way? That's how I would sign a yearbook.
Thanks for the logic.
That's a great question.
How'd I-
Hags,
how would I
baby. Have a
sign
great
it?
summer.
Yeah, or did you had yearbooks, right?
Yeah, just I don't remember.
Did you sign your name in like a heart, or did you ever do like some long? You know how like, I mean, and the rest of the crew can speak to this, but like, some people girls more so than guys would be like, here's my yearbook, you can take it during math, and because they just assume like you probably want to write like 9 pages worth of stuff, and you're like, totally. We have so many memories, most of which involve me trying to get with you, but you didn't want to. But so I guess I'll just write thanks, but no thanks, or thanks for. I hope you are happy with whoever is not me. But I would always write "Have a bomb ass summer," and I think at first I did it and I really meant it, which is sad. I mean, but that's probably But then I realized that I need to write something cooler, so it was like, never change or like stay white. I don't know. To write that to my black friends. I don't know. Just trying to keep it interesting.
I don't remember that stuff. As
I like
much.
Have a Nice life.
Have a nice life is nice. That's definitely definitive, though.
Yes.
That's like when you found out in MySpace when they went up to the top 40 and you weren't in your friend's top 40. You're like, I'm dead to them.
Yeah.
They have Barack Obama in their top 40, and I've known them for 30
Tequila.
years. Tia Tequila, R.I.P.
Oh my God. R.I.P. Wow, I forgot.
Well, I mean, that's worth a quick goog, but I think she's dead.
What about Tom? I just saw something that
Tom's
he's
dead,
like.
too. Tom is dead.
He's a photographer. Tom died?
Dude, Tila Tequila's still kicking. Let's go.
Tom's got it. Yeah.
43.
No way.
Still kicking.
Awesome.
No, what about Tom? Is Tom dead?
Tom from MySpace is probably killing it right
No,
now.
I think he made like
He's not
400
overthrowing
million,
the
and he
government.
goes
Cash
and
out.
has insane like vacations and photographers.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Tom was Zuckerberg? It'd be like a Finkel is Einhorn thing from Ace Ventura. Do you know what I'm saying?
Finkel is Einhorn.
You know,
Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel.
Everyone starts throwing up.
Well, dude, you consider Ace Ventura a football movie?
Oh yeah, with
Okay,
Dan
good.
Marino, the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, no.
Where do you get this gum, Ace? That's none of your damn business, Dan, and I appreciate you staying out of my personal affairs. Dude, unreal.
Einhorn is. Oh my God.
I got to, real quick, just a little more hawk talk. I got to roast the Seahawks. I roasted the Steelers before my weekend at the Pittsburgh Improv last summer. John Schneider, the GM of the Hawks, is a buddy of mine. And I posted a video of it, which, by the way, Tomlin immediately was like, take that shit down. And because I guess they didn't want it to be out there. I roasted the guys pretty good. Russ was there at the time, and he was up front. I thought it was going to be just the rookies, like during the rookie talent show is what it was.
Rookie camp?
Rookie camp. So they were like, come roast the rookies before, the way they.
Skits.
Yeah. And it was the whole team. Like, coaches, everybody. Russ and Fields are up front. I had a Russ joke, so I get up there. I was like, first of all, I did Russ. I didn't know you're going to be here, but man, I'm a Seattle guy. Thanks for the memories, and I'm just so glad that you're getting a fresh start here in Pittsburgh. They did you dirty in Denver, man. They did you dirty. I haven't seen someone get fucked that hard on tape since, unless it was being filmed at Diddy's house. And this was like shortly after all that was popping, and that was my first joke, and it got like split moans. Definitely got more laughs here than it did there, but it was like people were like not sure how to feel. Russ definitely like did a turnaround of like, whoa, like, and then he kind of was like, and then I got up and I gave him a dab and I was like, go Hawks. And then I kind of
They
like
probably didn't know how to react in front of him.
exactly. That's exactly.
They
what it was.
wanted to die.
Yeah, that's exactly
But
what it was.
they probably had a talk.
And then I started pointing to him after jokes. I'd be like, Russ laughed at that one. Everyone's cool, But so then I got to do it for the Hawks, and it was, and Tyler Lockett. It's crazy. Lockett, DK. I went down the line and just ripped everybody. And DK even at one point was, I was like, I'm going to go down the players. And I was like, where's DK Metcalf? And I was like, oh, shit, And then they were like, it's his birthday. I was like, oh, DK, happy birthday. Hey, what do you want for your birthday? He's like, no more jokes out of your fucking ass. And everybody was like, oh, shit. And then I just took a beat and I was like, all right, well, strap in, motherfucker, because I got 20 locked and loaded. And everybody was like, oh, shit. And then I just hit him for a bit. I think one of the ones I did for Tyler Lockett was, I go, Tyler, you look, you're so young, you look like a grown-ass, 12-year-old. You look like if your player intro before the game that it should be like, Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, Epstein Island, and that crushed everybody. That was like my good. And then I hit Jake Bobo a lot, one of our receivers. I think it's maybe in his third year now, and it said something about Jake Bobo being like a hidden gem, and I go, man, they're sure doing a good job of fucking hiding you, man. I don't think you've got one catch this year. And then I had a couple more hits off of Jake Bobo and how he looks like a deer, hit with a tranquilizer gun when he runs, and then I made another hit on Bobo, and I was like, sorry, Jake, for you to catch a stray. I just want you to catch something this season. And he came up to me after and was like, that's what's up or whatever. But I don't know. It's so cool. Things like that made me even way more comfortable to like, fuck with you on the Phil show, and even just have a healthy understanding of like, oh, dude, athletes are people too, man. Yeah. Too many fans, and myself included, would see like the ESPYs and see them cut, when Norm Macdonald's up there doing jokes and R.I.P. famously, and that's the one where I think of mostly because I think it's gotten a little cleaner since then, where they cut to an athlete. Even my boy Ken Griffey Jr., like I remember them cutting to him and him just being like, not wanting any, like, I think it was from a Norm Macdonald joke, and just not at all showing any sign of like, that was funny. And I was just like, oh, I guess athletes they take themselves too seriously.
Nah, it depends.
Case by case.
It's case by case.
And it's gotten way better because you're all just allowed and available to be out there more. So I think we get to know you more.
Because I think it's more intertwined now.
Yeah.
With social media and guys are allowed to show their emotion a little more now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different. I think there's a better understanding. I think the
would have been great if you just started crying right there. Can you cry on cue? How about this last movie you cried at?
Oh, last movie I think Ghost.
Wow.
Ghost?
Yeah,
Ghost Dad or Ghost?
Ghost with fucking Patrick Swayze.
But great call. But have you seen Ghost Dad with Cosby?
Yeah, that's sad too.
It is sad.
It's sad.
Yeah, because you're like, man, those poor women have no idea. He's like, yeah, it's less creepy if I'm a ghost when they drug you. It's not rape if I'm a ghost. You're like, wait, what? Is that actual dialogue from the movie Ghost? Yeah. But no, Ghost with, Ghost Dad.
With Swayze.
With Swayze. Unreal, dude.
I love a Swayze movie.
Swayze was unbelievable. Which, by the way, my wife just showed me Dirty Dancing.
Yeah. Don't put his baby in a corner, buddy.
Yo, great line, but also, he was like 37. She's like 18, right? It's like there's a pretty significant age gap.
Was he 37?
Like,
he looked like a good 37, though.
Isn't it all about like abortion too?
Yeah, it is about
I don't know, Kyle. Dude, what the fuck? Dude, Kyle.
January 6th,
with
bro.
this guy.
January 6th, guy.
This guy's just sitting on an abortion comment.
I don't want to throw out the conversation, but any interest in looking at MySpace Tom's Instagram page?
1,000%.
This is Instagram page.
Wait, this is his now.
I told you. He just takes cool pictures.
He's like Dan Bilzerian. What if Tom...
With money, though.
With money. No, Dan's got some cash, but
Does
it's all
he?
like, it's probably daddy's money.
This is all AI.
I saw Dan at the Comedy Store
No,
one
this
night.
is all real, bro. I watched a behind the scene thing on it.
Wait, amazing if Tom's picture, oh my God, AIing, this actually would make me be a huge fan of Tom. This is definitely That's probably a real picture, I
That's
think.
real.
But
That
if
looks
he posted
real.
all AI pictures of like him, let's say like with like wings in Cabo, and he was like spreading my wings on vacay, but then people would be like fake, and then he'd like, but he acted like it was real, like, but he posted severe, like a lot of these are fake.
I'm telling you, these are all real.
He's playing games with digital photography here. For
Okay,
sure.
so he's putting just massive filters on.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
So
come
he's
on.
traveling the world now. Good for Tom.
Like that would be a crazy life, though. He basically got
be
this
Tom.
whole thing kicked off.
did you?
I had a MySpace.
Oh, I love MySpace.
Did the NFL? How were they treating it at that time? Or
well, I wasn't.
No, you were in the league
yet. I was when I got
you
to
were
the
a
league.
Facebook baby.
I was a MySpace baby.
Yeah.
In like what high school, and then you had to have an EDU to get to Facebook. I was during that transition, and I lived in the Bay Area, so I was right there.
Whoa.
And so, when I got to the league, I think I was like the first of like 3 dudes on Instagram in the locker room.
What were you posting?
Like pictures at like fucking
Your
a
nice
nice hotel or something.
I know
like,
nobody knew what to post yet.
Food.
Yeah.
And like it was crazy. And now it was so like to look back on it. I remember all the veterans, they all look at the younger dudes those times like, get off your fucking phone, kid. You know what I mean? You're always on your phone. And now you look into a locker room, the first thing every dude does when they get out of a meeting or they go right to their locker, right to their phone, and no one's like congregating to each other. Everyone's on their phone. It's just crazy how times have changed.
Does that affect the camaraderie, or is that just you find other ways to connect?
I think the camaraderie has changed according to like, because guys could be communicating, but they're communicating right next to each other through their phone on a group chat probably, or like a fucking Instagram share list. You know what I mean? Or like they're sharing stuff. It's just different. It's crazy.
When I met Gronk at the roast of Big Papi, you weren't there, were you?
I wasn't.
Okay, did you hear about that though?
No.
So this was, I dressed up. If you look up actually Adam Ray roast of Big Papi, some pictures might pop up. I dressed up in full makeup as this like 80-year-old comedian from New York, and like diehard Yankees fan. It was Big Papi though, was being roasted. Yeah, there's
Yeah, right there.
Pedroia was there, Gronk.
Oh, Petey, laser show.
Oh yeah, dude. I go. One of the jokes. I go. Dustin Pedroia's here. Dustin, obviously plays second base, but his most natural position is dancing next to a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. You short fuck. And
I've seen that actually.
Oh yeah, dude. No.
Bottle women's queefs after yoga. What's with that hat, man? You wear that hat every day.
I'm talking about Josh Wolf.
You remind me of an autistic kid I knew who carried around a bag of Lucky Charms. And by the way, we found out the kid wasn't autistic. It was just Dustin Pedroia. Yeah, that's right. God, fuck you. The average SAT score of a Boston fan is, hey, I had to work in the deli that day. Anthony Mackie's here. Get up for Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, so it was Anthony Mackie, Burr,
I see.
Josh Wolf, Sarah Tiana, and Papi was lit, dude. He got slippery. But anyway, so I met Gronk, and Gronk that right before he goes out was like talking to me as if I was an old man, and then at some point I just go, because I was just trying to be in character. Because before we went and did that, we ran our jokes the night before at this comedy club called Laugh Boston. It was me, Bill Burr, Josh Wolf, Anthony Mackie, and Burr's like, so you gonna dress up like Babe Ruth or some shit? And I was like, just watch, Bill. It's gonna be great. Next day, we're in the lobby getting ready to walk over to the House of Blues next to Fenway, and Bill's in the lobby. I was like, oh, it's perfect. I gotta go test this out. So I walk up. I go, hey, Bill Burr, big fan. He goes, thanks, buddy. And it kind of turns away. I was like, oh, shit, he doesn't know it's me. So then I go, hey, I just started watching your cartoon. F is for Family. It's pretty good. He goes, oh, thanks. I go, yeah, it's no Simpsons. I'll tell you that much. And he goes, what's that, bud? I go, yeah, I got a few notes for you. You got a few minutes? And he goes, buddy, fuck off. And I like in my face, and I go, Bill, it's Adam. And he goes, what? I go, it's Adam. He goes, holy fucking shit, dude. And he just couldn't take his eyes off me the rest of the night.
You're Bill.
And so then I went up to Gronk, and same thing was like, I was like, oh, Gronk, big fan, man, big fan. I go, yeah, if you're not doing anything, like maybe we go double team a Hooters waitress. And Gronk was like, yeah, rain check, man. And then I was like, Gronk, my name's Adam Ray. I'm like 35. And he was like, oh, shit, And then he comes out, he's like, hey, dude, can I run some jokes by you? And he had this joke that he wanted to run by me about titty fucking Josh Wolf's wife after shitting on her chest. Can you curse on the show? Is it too late to ask? All right.
No.
And this is just all bleeped. And so I was like, and I start. He goes, so okay, so I'm titty fucking Josh Wolf's wife, and I shoot her, and then titty fuck her, and I go, what's the joke? And he goes, well, that's what I need help with. I go, you know what, dude? Just say that verbatim, and you'll be golden. And he was like, it's funny, right? I go, it's something. And then he went out there, and I honestly did not. He opened with it, and it fucking bombed, but then also got laughs. But then he saved it by being just charismatic, swagger-filled Gronk, and he does his he just goes, fuck you guys, I thought that was funny, and everybody starts laughing, dude, and immediately won the room over. You know what I'm saying? But
Authenticity will always do that.
1,000%. But the reason I bring all that up, sorry, long way to get to, is I asked him at one point, I always, I'm like trying to selfishly get a couple real football fan questions in, and I'm like, hey, are you, I think I asked like something about the season, and then that kind of parlayed to like, are you guys all buds, or are you just like buds with only the people in your, defense and then offensive line, obviously, and QB, but like, he goes, everyone's cool with each other. He goes, but it definitely is more compartmentalized than you would think.
Yeah.
He goes, it's not like a basketball team or even a baseball team. Like everyone's kind of with their groups, and you come together on Sundays.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's true, yeah.
And that kind of was eye-opening, because I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, me and like offense and Tom, like we're, but we spend more time together. But he's like, and then, there's obviously players on defense that maybe you become homies with, that you kick it with outside. But you're really hanging with the people that you're mostly jamming with, right?
Well, yeah, it's all time distribution, and your majority of your time is with the offensive guys, because you'll have, when you get into work, there's a 45-minute team meeting usually, at least where we were at, with the whole team, and then you break up into offense and defense. You have like another 30 to 45-minute like just offense, defense being addressed by the coordinators,
right?
And then after that, you get divided into your position group, and then you install and go over techniques. So the majority of the time you're with like your position group and your offense or your side of the ball. So that's usually how it goes. There is times where you cross over, and you'll see the fun of the whole thing is when you see the defensive guys in like the hallway, or you'll walk by their room and you get out of meetings early, and it's like class. You're like fucking with them while they're in meeting. There's a lot of camaraderie with that. But so you're a comic.
I'm a comic. I've been doing dude.
How long have you been doing it?
Bro, as long as you've been doing transitions. No, I've been doing it 18 years, baby.
6 months.
6 months, yeah. No, your question is a good one. 18 years stand-up, started in 2007. Left Seattle 2001.
That's what I wanted to get into. What's it like growing up in the Pacific Northwest?
Finish my fucking story, Jules, and I'll tell you. I'm joking, dude. Growing up in the Pacific Northwest ruled. I mean, you've been to Seattle. I mean, probably. Do you? And then I'll get back to where I'm from. When you would visit a city on the road, you probably the same way a comic visits it. Like obviously, I'm going to Toronto this weekend, so I'll have it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'll have a few days, right, to explore a little bit. But you guys usually what, like for a Sunday game, going Friday, sometimes Saturday?
So if it's a West Coast game coming from the East Coast, we'll go there on a Friday.
Okay. And you have maybe then one night to, but not really, because you got
curfew.
So you're not really seeing the city other than the stadium.
So I actually got to see the city of Seattle because we played them during COVID. And that was when the city was shut down.
Hey, remember to get your vaccine, by the way. You still got them. You don't have to get Johnson, Moderna, or Pfizer. You can go to Costco and get the Kirkland brand. Let's bring those replacement reps back.
So we played them in 2020.
Yeah.
And it was completely closed out. But I was injured and I was playing through it.
179 yards, baby.
No, but
No way.
I had to, me and my trainer, this Australian dude, we went on a walk to keep my leg warm because it was a weird situation where we traveled on a different day and the plane and the long knit. So I actually walked how beautiful and got to see how beautiful
I love that.
Seattle was.
It rules.
It reminded me a lot of Vancouver.
Totally.
It's like the same cities.
They're synonymous.
Like insanely beautiful.
Yes. People compare it to San Francisco a decent amount just because I guess the hills and peaks and valleys and weather being, nice in pockets. But it rules. I mean, I left in 2001, went to, LA for acting school at USC, was there during the Pete Carroll Trojan War years. You're talking about a college football team that was,
Were you there every time?
Every game,
every Saturday?
dude, it was bananas, dude. The tailgates were wild. I was in a API, the Jew frat, and we would walk over. I lived in the house my sophomore, junior year, or sophomore, senior year, studied abroad my junior year. And, but dude, it was from Liner to Lendale White to Dwayne Jarrett to Mike Williams to, Reggie Bush, obviously. Reggie Bush was comparable to growing up with Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
To where it was like every time you went to the stadium, ballpark, whatever, you're like, oh, I'm about to see probably a potential once in a lifetime play.
Yeah.
Right? And the games were awesome. We were just so dominant that it was really fun. I mean, you know what that's like, where people just show up and you just expect to beat the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah.
And being in LA ruled close to home. Growing up in Seattle, though, was awesome. And I mean, I got more into football, I'd say, once the Sonics left.
And what year is that?
2007, 2008.
That's crazy.
Wild,
So
dude.
what's your hierarchy of, were the Sonics one? So
I
what's
think
your
so.
hierarchy
Basketball-
of Seattle sports? What was that?
Seattle sports was probably definitely Soups, Sonics, the Mariners. I like the Seahawks. I mean, I definitely, I didn't have a Rick Meyer jersey, but Chris Ward I thought was the shit. When Holmgren came in, that really was
That was fun.
That was fun, and it like,
Sean Alexander.
bro. I mean,
Hasselbeck.
then he went on the Madden
Largent,
cover
though.
and
I
got
mean,
injured.
yeah.
Largent, you can't
The
sleep
Godfather.
on. Yeah, a lot of good players. Joey Galloway was a stud for a bit.
Yeah. Played with him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he played with the Patriots my
Oh,
rookie
yeah.
year. We traded for him.
He was still ripping it at that point, right?
Dude, he was like 35. He could still run.
Cool.
He was remember there was always the talks about like he ran like a 4.1.
Yeah.
Like, but it was never shown or anything. He was like lightning. He was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, he was fast as shit. He was the guy that we like hung our hat on for a while.
Yeah.
And then
Sean Kemp fucking dunking on everyone.
yeah.
bro, I
baby.
just went to Seattle and this will be up on my YouTube in probably 3 weeks. But
Yeah.
I got to play in the Seahawk charity basketball games at Climate Pledge, our new arena. And Cliff Averill, Mike Bennett, and Doug Baldwin started this organization called Champions of Change. And so I played in the first game, and coaches of my team were Sean Kemp and Gary Payton. Coaches of the other team were Sue Bird and Marshawn Lynch. And, Richard Sherman's playing, and Jamal Crawford, Isaiah Thomas. I mean, and then fucking, Quick Fat over here. And it was insane. And I mean, like, so fun. So then I got to befriend Kemp and Peyton. They've come to a bunch of my shows. Kemp did the Dr. Phil Live in Seattle. And so I got in their ear enough to be like, guys, we should do a live podcast. I've watched you guys do enough separately and together for like, midday, just, NBA. They did an NBA TV interview that was cool, but like getting to know them, I'm like, oh, you guys are loose. You guys are cool. You tell stories. To me, Sean Kemp, after the Dr. Phil Live, we walked around. We went to his Kemp cannabis store and then sparked a couple blunts and walked around downtown Seattle. And he just asked me comedy questions and then told NBA stories. And it was like one of the greatest days of my life.
That's a fun night.
Oh, it was awesome.
Walk in Seattle with Kemp.
Bro, this is like 2 in the
Blazed.
afternoon. So like the nighttime, I was asleep by 6, but like it was, I was fucking, hey, I've been there. And so we were just like, we were down for the count, but so I got them to do a show on 420 in Seattle. We did it last week, and it was about an 80-minute chat, and it was like awesome, dude. I mean, we hit a bunch of Seattle basketball shit about them going to Nirvana concerts and playing in like park games on the weekends to get more minutes against just sad white dudes and talking about deadlift shred. Just it was awesome, and talking about their alley-oop days and but then also about the NBA now and like Bronny LeBron and just all that shit. But also a looser chat, like we were smoking and drinking, and so they
I see that. Like
Which is so cool.
I've been to a few of your things, and you do have a lot of crossover with athletes. Now, when did you find, like, were you the funny kid when you were a kid in Seattle? Like, when did you know you wanted to be a comic? Or did you go into acting school, want to become a dramatic actor?
Yes.
And then fucking, you're like, maybe I like funny because it's money.
Totally. I mean, I did all the plays in high school. I quit football my sophomore year of high school to play Danny Zuko in Grease. And that's when I think, I started offensive line, defensive line. I was a sophomore.
You were Danny?
What's that?
You were Danny in Grease?
Yeah. Grease Lightning, baby.
Go Grease Lightning.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man, I watched the real Grease movie like probably 1,000 times just to get that, shit. And it was awesome, man. I mean, if I had more balls, I probably could have just cleaned up with like some senior girls because doing the plays were a big deal in our high school. And I would go all the time. As a kid, we would take field trips to see the plays. So it was such a big deal. And it was always something like, oh, fun to do. And then I started getting into it and I was like, oh, this is really fun. Maybe this is what I want to do in college post school. And I'm playing football and the coach made me sophomore captain, doing all the summer weightlifting and it just all the camps, getting pretty big as you can for a 6'1" Jew. And then an offensive lineman who was a senior got injured. So he's like, you're going to start and varsity this year. So he's a sophomore. And then I'm just going through the summer, and the guy who was directing the plays called me and was like, I'm not supposed to do this, but like, we're going to do Grease. I just want to make sure you're auditioning because I think you'd be a great Danny. The only other guy that I think, and there wasn't like a ton of people doing the plays. There's probably 50 people that were auditioning for everything, and there'd be about 20 to 25 kids. But the only other guy that was auditioning to be Danny Zuko was this Korean guy named Danny Park. And the director was like, I'm not trying to play favorites, but you've got a pretty good shot. You know, Danny is a gay Korean who, you know, doesn't have the Zuko swagger. And I'm like, all right. So I'm talking to my mom, my single mom, and she's like, you got to do what makes you happy. Do you want to play football? I was like, if I play football, I feel like I'd be doing it to please the coach and not do what I want to do. And she goes, well, there you go. Don't live your life to please other people. You got to do what you want to do, especially right now. This is going to be a turning point maybe. And also I was like, I'm not going to go pro. You just know at a certain point, right? Like at what point did you go, I'm probably going to go pro?
Until I got there.
For real?
I was always focused on what was on my plate at that time. I had to overcome a lot of shit.
Good answer.
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit. You didn't have a fucking one moment in high school where you're like, dude, let's go.
No, because there was always the guy that was supposed to be better. Like, I was always like trying to prove that I belonged.
Okay.
It was weak. I don't know. But it got me to where I'm at.
Hey, it worked out though.
Bro, so you always had a chip on your shoulder.
Always.
Would you almost say to young athletes, like that's the move? Obviously, everyone's path is different, but if you were to give advice, you'd be like,
I think the move is focus and keeping the main thing. If you can focus, because if you really focus on trying to improve your game, and that means like doing everything in your possibility, finding out from a coach, finding out from a former player, finding out from a peer, what do you have to do to work or to get better and work hard at that? And that's how improvement comes. But you have to be focused to do it. Like everyone knows what to do to get to where they want to do.
right.
But they don't always do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if you have a big performance tomorrow night, you can't go to the fucking party till 5 a.m.,
Right.
drink beers and go, you know what I mean?
So it's
you
making
know that.
Yeah, choices that lead up to certain moments.
So
like,
ultimately it comes down to focus.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of a simple answer, but it really is the move.
It is.
Yeah.
Like sacrifice, that's because of focus. You're focusing on what you really want.
Sacrifice is also a big part of it. Have you ever taught you'd be a great PE teacher, by the way, in like a single cam comedy. I'm just realizing you remind me of my high school PE teacher named Mr. Suplin, who definitely hooked up with a couple of the kids. Not saying you did, but I'm saying that like he was cool as fuck, Jules, and you've got like he was likable and we all wanted to be buds with him and party with him.
Yeah.
You're actually cooler than he was. You're also in way better shape. He had that like, he was probably 46.
It's kind of the veteran type guy. He's a good veteran.
Bro, he just had a way of like, he had a little like smirk too. And he definitely was drunk a few days. I remember him being like, coming in and being like, so today we're going to talk about, actually, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's open it up let's open it up. What did I do this weekend?
How many?
What did I do? What didn't I do? He was.
How many times did you do that in the fucking boys' locker room and him almost come in and watch you do it?
Bro, I impersonated him a handful of times. I impersonated our basketball coach a lot and got in trouble a few times. But that's actually how I started doing. I would impersonate friends and teachers when I was in elementary
and that's
school.
where the comedy started.
Probably, yeah. I think it was it just came kind of easy to like make buddies laugh. And I've said this before, but being a big kid, get teased a lot. And then all of a sudden I started to make people laugh, and I was not the fat kid, I was the funny kid. So then it was like, oh, well, this is a win-win. I'm feeling good because I'm making people laugh, and they're not teasing me anymore. So I'm going to keep chasing that. And so shout out to Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, because without double fisting you guys, I wouldn't have had tits by the 4th grade or a comedy career.
Yeah, 1,000%. Now, is that where you? But I'm really interested. Is that what you do as a comic? You pull from like coaches.
Yeah.
And then is that what you do?
I was the funny kid, but I was locked into sports, dude. if I was like 6'4", even 6'3", dude, I would have tried to play at a small D3, maybe D2 for basketball. I loved it. I mean, I was all in, dude. Baseball I was playing too, and then I had to quit because I was already doing the play. And I was able to do freshman football and the play, but the baseball coach was like, nah, dude, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So that was a wrap on baseball. But baseball was always the most stress for me because it was just a little more anxiety-ridden. It's just you up there. I was pitching in third base or whatever. But basketball and football just were so... the team sport. I mean, fuck, dude. I got buddies who are comics that never played sports and don't like them. And I'm like, I feel bad for you, dude.
Yeah.
Even if you liked them, even just so you could feel like the
camaraderie.
Yeah, dude. Being in a locker room is such a special, unique thing, like for better or for worse. But it's a direct. It's why sports and life are so intertwined for so many, coaches or the way people talk, life coaches. Which, by the way, I have a friend from college who is now a life coach. God bless her. Life coach already kind of like a. I'm a life coach now. You're like, you were in rehab 6 months ago, but I get it. Like, oh, really? You're going to tell me how I should better myself? I don't know if you've thrown all of your crack away. So, but shout out. I almost said her name, but she's doing it. She's got crystals and she's got a good guy now. So yeah, crystal meth. We'll be right back. We'll keep her right here. But yeah, dude, Seattle's a great place to live. What was the question?
I don't know. I was just talking.
The just the locker room vibe too. Man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I was gonna jump into something. It's also in high school.
Yeah.
The locker room, especially with the age group of guys.
Yeah.
You're young, growing young men.
Yes.
And it's like a time where you get to have alone time around guys that are like you with a lot of testosterone.
Yep.
Guys are hitting puberty. Everyone's making jokes. Everyone's trying to get girls or guys, whatever you're into.
Sure.
But that's going around. You know what I mean?
And you're getting like other just perspectives and you're getting to see like what you like and don't like in friends. Like because there's older guys that maybe you want to be buds with.
Yeah.
And then they convince you to like steal some beer, and then you're like, fuck, that was cool. Maybe, and then they don't let you take the fall if you get caught. So you're like, oh, that's cool. You can be living on the edge, but not be a dick about it.
No,
and then you got younger guys that are, I don't know. It really is. You span the gamut as far as like all walks of life. I mean, people are coming in. I mean, yeah, there's rich kids, there's poor kids, there's down the middle, and you get a poor kid who's incredible, and then you get a rich kid who sucks, and you're like, but thinks he's a shit. I mean, you really.
But the locker room is a group of men that all have a common goal, and that's usually to win.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter where you come from.
That's why sports are great.
That's why sports are great. So you leave Pacific Northwest.
Go to LA for college.
To go to LA college. I got a question. You ever see Leinart or Reggie at like a frat party?
Oh yeah, Leinart actually came.
I'm friends with Leinart too. I want to hear this.
Great kid. He showed up. I mean, sweet guy and a gangster. I mean, he was the quarterback of a.
But did he think he was the guy?
No, he was real chill. He was.
Come on, Leinart. I seen the pictures.
I mean, he didn't. Here's the thing. Our frat.
He was a superstar.
Dude, Lakers were at Kobe Shaq. Were Rams there? No, they were back in St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dodgers were all right. But SC football was
huge.
King, dude.
They were the
It was
pro
king
team.
in LA. And because Pete Carroll, God bless him, would bring in Snoop and Will Ferrell and McConaughey, all these people to come watch because Pete was like, just from what I've heard from peeps that know him well, was like he wanted to surround the practice almost like the way a young college kid will perform if there's a pretty girl there. He's like, they definitely will do it even more so with celebs. You don't want to fucking eat shit in front of Snoop.
Yeah.
So he'd get these guys, and he also want to make the practices fun and make them a thing. And but yeah, Leinart came to our frat party. A lot of them would, because our house was set up to where it just gotten remodeled my freshman year. So it was like you walked in, you had the kitchen to the right, a big TV room to the left, and then you walked in, it was set up like apartment style. So you had a big open quad, and then you had rooms around the bottom and rooms around the top. So it was a great party house. So I walk in one day to a Thursday night party, and Leinart's waiting at the stairs. And I walk up, and there's some pledge not letting him go up the stairs. And I was like, I go to Leinart, I go, hey man. And Leinart was friends with this guy named Brandon Hance, who I think was our third or fourth string quarterback, but they were buds. And so, and Brandon Hance was friends with a buddy of mine in the frat. So Leinart was coming to hang, and he just was waiting, not trying to big time, but waiting at the bottom of the stairs. And I go, are you waiting for someone? He's like, yeah, Brandon Hance. I go, oh, I'll walk you up. And I go to the pledge. I go, do you know what this is? He goes, no. I go, it's the quarterback of our fucking school, man. And he was like, oh shit. hey man, big fan, man. I go, it's too late, Gary. You know, and it was. And so we go upstairs, and we had like 6 Garys in the house, and we go upstairs, and Landon was wearing just a big shirt and sweatpants. I think he did have like 3 or 4 girls following behind him. But you're the quarterback, dude. But he was chill.
God.
He was chill. And now he's doing a podcast with my boy Jerry Ferrara.
Yeah.
Throwbacks?
Throwback. That's the name of it?
Thanks. Shout out.
But yeah, he was just a god, dude. And so SC football is king. I graduate SC. Now I'm just in the throes of LA trying to make something out of nothing. You know, you get a theater degree and it's all on you, dude. So it's just like stand up, then YouTube hits. So I'm doing sketches and I'm auditioning, then I'm working at a casting office.
When did you feel that you were going to comedy during this whole thing?
Probably in college, I was like, you know, obviously the acting program was pretty demanding.
Yeah.
And a lot of shows and a lot of drama. And I definitely still, I mean, Robin Williams is like my guy. That's the career that I want. Like I want to be able to do, like Mrs. Doubtfire to me is a flawless movie where you're like, oh, you get a brilliant comedian, but also like a brilliant dramatic actor, giving you both sides of the coin. And that just type of career where, yeah, I don't know if I need to do like a Saving Private Ryan type movie, but like, yeah, man, if somebody was like, Spielberg saw your Dr. Phil and thinks you got some chops or whatever it is, or, I mean, I've done some dramatic shit, but, and definitely feel really probably more comfortable in that than, I mean, comedy is just second nature at this point. But I want to do it all, man. I mean, the Sandler career is like what I'm building towards, where you can
work with your friends and make things you love.
Yeah, dude. He literally can. Rob Schneider, write me Deuce Bigelow. Nick Swartzen, write me Benchwarmers. You know, and also. And David Spade, I'm going to put you on my shit because we're buds. You're also great. Like I have so many people in my world like that that just need opportunities, and that's all it is, man. And you just want to make shit. I mean, the Dr. Phil show and stand up, it's all great, grateful touring. It's the shit, but like that's what this next year is trying to really take advantage of the exposure and the momentum and make some shows. And even though they're harder to come by and tougher to make, like, you know, I've created my own good luck to this point. Like the Dr. Phil stuff came out of, you know, the actor strike hitting, and it was like, wow, now I don't even have, you know, you're waiting around to be put in other people's shit, which just gets old. I mean, I've been auditioning for, 15 plus years, booked some cool shit, gotten really close on cooler shit, not gotten it. And at some point you're like, why am I waiting around? I feel like I got more to offer creatively and should be, taking it less of this and more of this, pointing, being like, why am I not, they didn't want to put me in their thing. Like, fuck them. And it's like, well, then make your own shit, man.
Create.
And especially in this day and age, you have to do that. You can't be a one trick pony. You can, and people still can pop off. Better be a good trick.
Better be a good
better
trick.
Pull a fucking rabbit out of that hat.
It's like Coach Belichick.
Oh, is that what he says?
He said you either got to be great at one thing or you got to be good at a lot of things.
Fuck, dude.
The more
He sounds
you
like
can do,
Yosemite Sam when you just did that impression. What's that?
the more you can do, as Jules always says.
The more you
say
can
that?
do.
Yeah, I mean, you came in doing like what? I mean, how many things would you say you were bringing to the table when you got in the league?
I was just signing up. I was where do you need me? And wherever. And I was playing all the special teams, and
That's right. That's how you started, right?
that's how I started, covering kicks and returning kicks.
And you were just like, I'm gonna crush this.
Well, you earn your opportunity through your performance.
Yep.
And your preparation. The more you do it in practice, the more opportunity you'll earn. And so, I mean, it's like anything. It's just fundamental. Bringing your hard hat, lunch pill to work with a purpose, trying to get better. And if you do that, usually good things happen.
Question from a fan, and speaking for all fans, did you ever return a punt and in your head go, don't drop it, 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 don't drop it? Because I think that every time, after one guy drops one, I'm like, he's got to be thinking that the next time. You're only human.
So when I first came to New England, the first practice and training camp, I came from Kent State, and like my senior day, we had like 800 people at the crowd. You know what I mean? The first day of New England training camp, there's 25,000 people surrounding the practice field, watching.
Bananas.
Chants, people were cheering, and I'm trying to catch punts really for the first time in front of people. And I started dropping them and shit. Oh. And they started booing. Oh. And Brewski came over. He goes, hey, don't worry, Rook. They're just saying my name. Because whenever Brew would come, they'd always boo. He kind of gave me,
Are they saying boo or boo earns?
Boo
I
sir.
was saying
Bro, that's so what you need. I bet that changed your mentality, right?
Yeah, but what that
You didn't
did
give a
was
shit.
whenever I got stressed, I would just fall back on work.
Yeah.
So the more prepared you are, the better you're gonna do on the Sunday. The Sunday was always you had the answers to the test. That was the easiest day.
Yeah.
You just got to go take the test a million times at practice.
Love that.
And then subconsciously, all your movements and behaviors will just come out naturally when the game day comes. It'll be like deja vu.
Yep. That was the first strip club I went to in Seattle. Deja Vu, shout out. Not joking. It was Deja Vu and Rick's. Shout out to Rick's. My buddy Chris DeLeon, we went and I was 18 and he was 17, but he, you know, Filipino, if a Filipino dude puts on a hoodie and like does like a little bit of a Robert De Niro, they can age themselves up like 5-6 years. And so we walked in and he just owned the place. And I remember to this day he tells a story. He goes, you walked over and asked me for $40 like 3 times because I was like, dude, this girl Cinnamon, like she
likes me.
dude, I think she likes, like, I think I'm gonna pay for a kid to go to high school. I think I'm gonna take her to Costco and like fill up the cart. I think like at least once.
She never gave you the $40. You know what that brings me to?
No, I mean, but the dances just got shorter. I remember that.
You know what that just
Every
brought me
dance
to?
was like 2.5 minutes, and all of a sudden she was like, "Okay, so another $40, and you can have the first 6 seconds of It's All Been Done by the Bare Naked Ladies." And you're like, "They're not even out yet." It's 1998, sweetheart. They were 2002 group. Are you from the future, Cinnamon?
You remember the old Pablo Francisco bit on the strippers? I remember him.
Did you do a movie trailer voice for it or what?
No, but he
Great
used to
comedian,
talk-
though.
I remember
he's so
watching
fucking
him
funny.
early.
Oh, yeah.
Early
Early
in
Comedy
YouTube.
Central days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to talk about going to the stripper. You like ducks? I like ducks too.
Oh my
remember
God,
that? I don't
so
know.
funny.
Nothing gets me more worked up than when plans go sideways. You're all set up for a barbecue, and then out of nowhere, it starts raining. Now, old me would be fuming, but retired me, I choose chill. Here in the Nut House, we learn from the school of intensity, but now we're professors of chill. Whether it's after a few rounds of pool that got way too competitive or just kicking back after a long day, I reach for that Blue Mountain cold refreshment of a Coors Light. There's something about a cold one straight from the cooler that just hits different. So the next time life throws you a curveball, do yourself a favor, make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment, crisp, clean, and as refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer. Oh, and if you don't feel like making a beer run, we've got you covered. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Just hit up CoorsLight.com/GWN. Cheers. Let's go back to September 24th, 2012.
Wow,
this
dude.
is a segment we like to go over the pop culture, what was going on around
This
the
is
time
fun.
of the game. Number one movie, Hotel Transylvania. Adam Sandler.
Shout
you
out
talked
Sandler.
about.
It's my guy, dude. And
Who's your like? Who do you look up to? So clearly, Adam Sandler. Who were your inspirations when you were young?
bro, Sandler, Jim Carrey,
Love Carrey.
Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor. The reason I do characters, and you know, I've done a bunch on Kiltonian now with the Phil.
Eddie
and like,
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor is such an underrated movie, and he should have won an Academy Award for that. He played 8 different people, and they're all feel like real people, dude. And Martin Lawrence dressed up like a woman. Tyler Perry, dude. You feel like you're, and no slight to them, you feel like you're just watching them in dress up. Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy transforms, dude. Same with Jim Carrey, dude, as like the
Jim
Grinch.
Carrey.
So Jim Carrey, dude, I mean, even Steve Carell in The Office is one of my favorite things. Larry David, Curb's one of my favorite shows of all time. Got to do an episode, which was Outer Body Experience. I was an Uber driver, and just him sitting behind me in the audition twice was like, I mean, I was like, we got into these fights. Like, you know, the only thing they write down is like, Larry's going to ask you what his rating is. You tell him he's a 1. That's all they tell you, and then you just improvise. So he's like, he gets in and he goes, hey. And I'm like, kind of a gamble, me picking you up right now. He's like, what's that? And then I go, you know, it's your rating, man. And he's like, what? Yeah, by the way, I'm a little thrown off. You didn't offer me gum. I go, well, you're a 1, man. I don't give 1s gum. I mean, you got in my car. Yeah, to be honest with you, man, you got in, you know, you slammed the door too loud. He's like, what are you talking about? This isn't even that nice of a car. I go, dude, you know, you got in with this like mentality of like you do what you want. You just got you got this like sucking fucking thing. He goes, there's no sucking, there's no fucking. This isn't the audition.
That had to be insane.
It was the best. And but so Larry David's definitely a hero. Eddie Murphy, Chris
Eddie
Farley.
Murphy in Coming to America when he changes into those guys in
it's
the barbershop.
Oh my gosh.
Those are the best.
You don't see that anymore. So that's one of the shows I'm actually trying to get going is a like scripted / hybrid to where it's like it's this family dinner. I have this character Jeremy that I do. It's like this man boy child, and I did this pilot that's up on my YouTube called Jeremy, where I play 3 different characters: this heavy set gay hairdresser, then an old 80-year-old woman like who's a medium, and then this man boy child Jeremy. And Ron Funch is in it, David Koechner, Joel McHale, Tom Lennon, and yeah, the way Eddie would do that. Even Farley was a big influence. Now,
when you do your impressions, do you like when you watch Jim Carrey? Like he changes his fucking face.
Well, that's next level. Yeah.
Yeah, like you do the same thing when you're doing like fucking Biden and you're doing all your guys.
Yeah, you got it a little bit. Yeah.
Do you study that or like?
For me, I don't consider myself like a true impressionist. Where like there's a friend of mine, Melissa Villasenor. She was on SNL for a bit.
Yeah.
She like sits down and like listens, like studies. Like for me, it's either like it's not like a one and done, but like I try to do it. I really feel like I can see people like well. So like visually, I can like know how to. So I just kind of started doing that, and then I would watch some things to try to find. There's a lot of the eye stuff. And I find a couple things and like the big teeth smile, and then. The smirk was kind of thing, and then the voice when you get as close as you can. But like Will Ferrell's George Bush was so great, but it wasn't spot on.
Nah, yeah.
Like
it's their own take.
Caliendo's was a more spot on, but like Will Ferrell's was kind of arguably funnier because it was just a little bit more cartoony. But yeah, I try to. The more you can kind of contort, and getting into the makeup really helps to get lost in something.
Yeah.
Like when I was up there doing the roast of Papi. I mean, I was. Yeah, I mean, I could have hung out like that guy all night and walked around, Boston in a Yankees jersey and got into fights. I'm 80. You're gonna fuck me up. I'm 80 years old. Suck my dick, cocksucker. Like I was ready to just do everything. One More Night by Maroon 5.
One More Night.
Are we Maroon 5 fans still?
I mean, it was the #1 song.
How did that go? I'm thinking of Phil Collins.
Same.
One more night. Give me just one more night. Take it, Kyle.
That's from Tarzan, right?
That's You'll Be in My Heart, which if you want to get me to cry on cue, dude, that one. I remember listening to that when my, I think, 8th grade girlfriend broke up with me. Thanks for bringing it up. Erin Domingo, shout out.
Erin.
She's dating a buddy of mine from high school. They have 4 kids. I think they're happy. She live out in the boonies. What's that?
She's a life coach.
She's hilarious. I think she was for a bit. No, she was a volleyball coach. I think now she's just mom. My buddy's a PE teacher. But I would, after she broke up, I would turn on like, you, me, in my heart. Just sit there by myself and go. I just fucking be double fisting a brown sugar Pop-Tart. At least I've got you, Pop-Tart. And then Aaron went and fucking jerked off my buddy Jess Lacasse, who, by the way, Jess, shout out. I like to say the full name of people. Jess was this kid in high school that, I mean, dude, he had the perfect family. His parents had money, but then he also was like the cooler. We all had this kid that was cooler in 4th grade to where they almost felt like an adult, dude, because his brother was in, I think, high school when we were in elementary school. And so, and he was this football stud, and Jess was a bigger dude. So like he just would get roughed up by his brother. So he came to school in the 4th grade. He'd the car had some miles on it. And he told us that his dad invented Little Caesars. Hey, not true. Do we have any way to fact check? Fuck no. So we're like, dude, your dad came up with pizza. He's like, yeah, dude. One day he was just like, dude, what's our slogan? Will we make pizza? Say it again. Boom. There it is. Pizza. We were like, what the fuck? He told us he was having sexual intercourse in the 4th grade. Again, no way to fact check. He also just had the swagger of a 4th grader.
Confidence goes a long way then.
Dude, I remember I think he even told people he was doing anal in the 6th grade. I don't know. But it was like, we can hit him up on Facebook and find out. But now he's big gun guy. But so yeah, that was... So 2012. So One More Night. Yeah, I think of Phil Collins, but Maroon 5 had their time.
I hate Phil Collins.
Whoa.
What'd he do to you?
Well, I don't hate Phil Collins. I just don't like. You remember the In the Air of the Night?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I remember we were on like a 5-game winning streak, and I put that on right before a game. We ended up losing the game. Never listened to it again. Phil Collins out.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem. Why don't you leave fucking Phil out of this?
Nah, I heard Phil's kind of an a-hole too.
Oh no, really?
I don't know. I've heard that.
Is that surprising though?
No, he's a British rocker, right?
When you make Easy Lover, bro, you can be an a-hole.
He's pretty cool though.
Great call, dude.
He's cool.
AP, MVP, I'll take that.
MVP, Johnny Manziel was the Heisman winner.
Johnny Football.
Johnny Football,
You
man.
ever cross over him?
Yeah, I saw him in a Kill Tony. We played dice till 3 a.m. I told him too, and I was dressed as,
Sounds about right.
and I told him I think I was dressed as Dr. Phil, and I go, Johnny, I feel like I'm watching deleted scenes from a documentary right now, you know? I was like, I thought you were trying to sober up, player, you know? And he was just like, you know, here we go, baby, you know? He's a fun guy, though. He's a fun guy. Cool stories. That doc was wild. You forget how fucking famous he was. Dude.
Oh, yeah, he was.
insane.
I mean, and I don't know if I would, I mean, fuck, dude. It's almost like when you see, you know, Bieber get so famous so quick, you're just like, what would you do, man? Like, I don't care how, it's almost tough, you know, to say like, to have the good people around you to get in your ear and your face and get you on the right path. For sure that, you know, always will help, but like,
Yeah.
you're in control, man. He was in the driver's seat, and
LeBron was that famous. He did all right.
he did fine, man.
Let's jump into the Packers, Jack. Give us a little synopsis
We'll
on
run
this
through
game.
on these Packers. These 11-5 Packers. Mike McCarthy in his 7th season. We know he's down in Dallas these days. Legendary Dom Capers running this
7th
defense.
season with them there.
Just 2 years removed from that Super Bowl win over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Were you watching this game hoping for one or the other, or did you expect Green Bay? I think a lot of people did.
You know what? So I was in the AFC at this time. So this was a Monday night game because it was on ESPN, I believe.
Gruden and
so
Tirico.
we'd all watch that, but you could care less on who wins. You're more tied to your division and your conference.
Yeah.
You know, it's very rare that if we're not playing them, we're not going to see them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Once
That's
every
right.
4 years.
That's right.
So like this is
Had no
you're going to
impact
watch
on
Aaron Rodgers play on Monday Night Football though.
But did you think like, oh, this is a potential Super Bowl matchup at this point? Or did you not think of that?
Dude,
So early, game by game, right?
our coaches kept us so dialed into how shitty we played the week before that we thought we were on thin ice at
Bill
all
just
times.
like, I mean, it doesn't strike me as a guy that even screams. I mean, he strikes me as a guy
he doesn't
like,
scream, but he kills you with facts like that and knowledge. He'll embarrass you through like his knowledge of the game. Like you're gonna loaf that play, and then he'll go and he'll put on the same play with LT blowing the guy up, saying, "So you're gonna act that way and make that play." But look at this. This is how it's done.
So like if you bought like you're playing Monopoly and he's like, wow, you're really gonna buy Baltic Avenue right now? Well, I guess that's your prerogative, huh? But Atlantic Avenue was wide open and clearly is gonna bring in more cash flow. Maybe you're just a big fucking idiot. He would just do that shit.
He wouldn't say that.
Right, for sure.
But he
would-
wouldn't
would he
say
say
you're
I'm
a
a-
big fucking. He never like really called guys idiots. Or
Bummer,
anything.
I'm disappointed in you like a dad?
No, it was more like we're not on this program or like
Cool.
he says asshole a lot in his when he motherfucks. You assholes.
Cool.
But it's like old guy asshole.
Yeah,
you know? Like
get
they
off my
call
lawn.
everyone asshole.
You need a little bit of that as a coach, right? Or do you not? Like people used to, give Pete Carroll a hard time, even though I've heard from, Mark Sanchez and others that like Pete's got to switch.
Yeah.
Like anybody. But like, yeah, more often than not, he's killing it with kindness and he's trying to be positive. Then that's just the way he does it, right? So, and
No,
I
he
guess
was never positive.
Pete.
Oh, I thought you were
Bill.
talking about Bill.
Yeah. Never positive. Okay.
Pete stays jacked and
It
pumped,
was
baby.
do your job, right? Not let's have fun.
But if you think about it, like where we were at as an organization, like it was either Super Bowl or failure.
Wow, dude.
And that
that's
was when I got
wild.
there. When I got there, they already had 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And then we got into the heat of ours. So, like, it wasn't about how well you did in the win. It was about the 17 plays we could do 10 times better because when we need those plays against a better team in a more important situation or area of the season, that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
The whole season is just trying to prepare you for the postseason, and that's the real dance. So, like, yeah, it's negative, but it's not negative. It's anyone who's trying to improve something. You never look at the great things or you never pat on the ass for things you're expected to do.
Right.
Because we're all professionals here.
Right.
Okay. This is what we did wrong. We need to work this because we're going to see this 15 times next week against the next opponent.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I felt like I was just in a Bill Belichick meeting right there.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool how much you've like can hold on to that, and you still like it's.
There's also other ways to do it.
And that worked for Bill. It worked for, and it seems like he was pretty dialed into like, once people get brought in, like who buys in and who doesn't, right? I'm sure there were guys that were like,
yeah, but when your best player, your most highest paid player is Tom Brady, who's working the hardest, it makes everyone else fall in line. So yeah, Bill, he's a great coach, but it's because of the leader, huh?
You looked at Tom first.
No, you had no. If Tom was going to get yelled at, if Tom was going to be there early, and Tom's got a supermodel wife and can take a helicopter wherever he wants, but he's still the first one in, last one out.
No excuse.
And you're fucking 54 on the roster.
Wow.
What do you think you're going to do?
Yeah, dude.
So I mean, it's a joint. It's a synergy.
Yeah.
It's laws by the head coach. It's the authority by the sheriffs, and that's the players. It needs to be working hand in hand. That's what you see with the Chiefs, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I went and watched them practice. There's guys joking around, but Patrick Mahomes wasn't. Patrick Mahomes was dialed the whole fucking time. Patrick Mahomes, in between periods, was doing his things that he had to do to get himself ready. And I guarantee every motherfucker on that team sees that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's the power of leadership in an organization.
I remember Greg Jennings had a big day.
Yeah, Greg Jennings game. When we watched this game, man, these Packers teams, they were fucking good.
They were good, man. And
Jordy Nelson,
AJ Hawk, Clay Matthews,
Cobb was
Cobb was. I don't think Cobb was on this.
Charles
team.
Woodson, Hall of Famer.
18.
Yeah, was he? I didn't see him that much in the highlights though.
Obviously, Clay Matthews, right?
Clay Matthews.
Great.
Fucking my teammate Charles Woodson,
Hall of Famer.
really good.
Hall of Famer, baby.
We just golfed this past.
I didn't know he was a good golfer. And a little foreshadowing with this game. This season, Aaron Rodgers led the league in sacks taken at 51.
Yeah, we got to him in this game.
Just a little foreshadowing.
Yeah,
our D was. Just go down the line, dude.
This was the start of the Legion of Boom when you guys got Irving and
Bruce Irvin was a fucking madman, dude.
Dude.
Sidney Rice was such a
beast.
Gangster. That was our veteran guy, Doug Baldwin. Just when talking about chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, but it was more. This was Tate, baby. Remember, little Tate was a baller.
I was bummed that we let him go.
Tate was a fucking baller. I remember we used to train in the off season together, and that guy just made plays.
He was a playmaker, dude. He had a little flair, and he talked a little
goofy,
shit. A little goofy.
He'll talk shit, but like
I'm fine with
what
it,
he did, he made plays.
Backed it up, and him with Percy there for a minute was cool.
I'll tell you that Legion of Boom though. You see.
Bro, it was wild. Byron Maxwell was just coming into his own.
Maxwell was good.
Jeremy Lane, who was fucking D'ing you guys up in that bowl until he fucking went out. There are certain Hawks fans that are like, once Lane broke his fucking arm, that was the beginning. And I was like, that wasn't it. There was a lot going on, but he was a good guy to have out there.
He tackled Lane.
How'd you break that arm?
He was the one who broke his arm.
Oh, that's right.
I think he tore his ACL too. It was a bad hit.
It's a bad throw.
It was bad play.
Yeah.
It was a bad play.
How about Cam Chancellor getting hit by that guy? What's that like?
It feels so when you hit people, you could feel give. He feels like when you hit a tree.
Oh,
when you hit a tree and you just
every morning I start my day by just smacking my head on one.
Yeah, it felt like that. And also, who the low key fucking little
give it to me, Earl
Thomas.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Earl Thomas he was like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, man.
He would blow something up, even if it was his own teammate. He didn't care. He was blowing just something up, even if it had nothing to do with the play. He was blowing something.
He was hitting somebody and making them think twice about their weekend.
This is when he had dreads too. I was watching this game because he cut him for us.
Yeah,
I don't think he had him when we played, but this is when he was young.
They were wild, dude. They were just
Marshawn Lynch. We can't talk about money.
Beast mode.
Unbelievable, dude.
Beast mode.
We had every spot covered, and we had, getting, I've heard both sides of the coin about Russ, but like, you had so many great guys, and then obviously, what helps is, only a few contracts, right? So it was like we paid. I don't think we paid any. Maybe Sherman had gotten paid at this point, but I think they were all on rookie contracts for a minute. So that's why it was. I think we paid a couple O-line guys, and then.
Didn't John Snyder come from the Packers?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So he's a friend of yours.
Oh yeah.
He took me to lunch.
He's the man, huh?
When I got worked out after my little combine at Kent, me and him went to lunch, And we had a real cool relationship.
I can't imagine you guys not hitting it off.
Yeah, he was a cool dude.
He's very cool, and he's dialed the fuck in. He's
I mean, he's a huge part of the reason why this team became what they became, because you hit on Bruce Irvin.
Yep.
You brought in that, the Legion of Boom Boys. Browner was like playing into his own. He was a long, crazy fucking
dude.
Physical corner. You had Sherm, who was a fucking ball hawk. I mean, that's because of
Dude, KJ Wright is a rookie linebacker in there. Like,
dude, this was like when
and then
you
Red
picked this
Bryant,
game.
fucking Chris Clemens was wild off
Oh
the
my
end.
God.
They
What a
were
day he had this
Alan
game, too.
Branch. You couldn't move Alan Branch. He played with us for 2 years and won a couple Super Bowls.
Really?
Alan Branch used to ride a skateboard, electric skateboard from the parking lot, which we had it was probably like a 200-yard walk. And he would get out of his truck. He put his skateboard down, put his backpack on, step on his electric thing, zoom in, go in through the hallways, and you see a 360-pound guy just walking around on an e-board in the hallways. Bill's sitting like, what the fuck are we doing?
They got to save those legs.
Gotta save those legs.
Oh,
man.
my God.
Yeah, Schneider really is. I mean, him and Pete were, definitely in concert as far as every move they were making. But even now, he's. They crushed the draft, dude. He's just a football savvy fucking guy, man. I mean, he's such a normal dude. But then when you lock in and talk, ball with him, you're just like, oh, this is. Sometimes we'll be hanging and I'm like, how are you running a football franchise? And then as soon as we start talking, he's like, zoink, and just he's just living, breathing, thinking it. But
he's been around some of the greats. I mean, he got to learn from Holmgren how to build an organization, a franchise.
Yeah, dude.
And then you go and do. I think he was with the Niners early on too, wasn't he? Didn't he start with the Niners? I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
Jackie, get us the game lead up of this Week 3 regular season game.
As you mentioned, this is a Week 3 game. Both teams coming in 1-1. Russell Wilson's third game ever in the NFL. So this is young Russ.
Wild.
And the big story heading into this one, of course, the replacement refs. They were on strike, couldn't come to an agreement. Their 2005 deal expired in 2011. Then you had a little bit of the lockout, which hindered some of their negotiations. But the dispute basically centered around pension and a little bit of upping some of the salaries, which would have amounted to $3.3 million total, whereas Roger Goodell was making $44 million that year. So there was a little bit of contention there. And they wanted to switch the pension.
You can't put Raj in the same sentence with ref.
I know. I'm sorry.
I hate when people do that in the comparison shit. That's bullshit. Roger Goodell does a lot of shit for and I'm not trying to be a Roger Homer or anything.
You're sounding like one.
Well, you're going to see
But
him
these
next
guys
week.
aren't even fucking full time. That's what the league needs to
that
do.
was
They
part
need
of
to
the-
make them full time.
I know that was
The
part of the
NFL is fine without Roger Goodell from a product standpoint. You saw how bad the NFL was with no refs.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm talking about from an optics standpoint. I get you love Roger Dodger.
I don't like. Hey, I don't hate Raj. I like Raj. You like Raj?
I call him Roger, but he he seems fine. Yeah, no, he seems chill.
He takes all the bullets.
He does. Well, you have to. You're commish. My buddy Brad Williams is a Broncos fan. You guys know comedian Brad Williams. Hilarious. I always do this. He's a little person. He's a person, but he can't get on the couch without help. But Brad's one of the funniest dudes ever. Check out his specials. I think Starfish is the name of it on YouTube. If you're gonna jab him, I gotta give him a shout out. But Brad is one of my best buds, and I've picked him up many times. We used to do a podcast together when we're out doing shows. We just did this show at the Comedy Store last week, the goddamn Comedy Jam, and him and Jelly Roll are on stage singing fucking Nickelback. And I just go, Brad, it was the end of the show. I go, jump. And he just fucking, without even thinking, just jumps in my arms. I'm carrying him around the stage. But, he knows I'm not going to drop him. We have a fucking built-in rapport. He's at the draft, and he went up to ask Goodell a question. I think it's on Brad's Instagram. And he asked a question about the tush push, and he's like, if you're going to get rid of that, maybe there's a thing where they throw a little person over the goal line instead. And that clip kind of popped off. And Goodell, you see him like laughing really hard and being a good sport about it. And then I told Brad, I go, watching Goodell walk over to you and shake your hand. And it was like, I don't know if it was his first time around a dwarf before, but I did the same thing when I first met Brad. I was like, can I pet you? Like, do you have all your shots? Like, it's like a pit bull. You're like, what's the fucking protocol here? So you see Goodell walk over being like, and Goodell wants to hug him, but he's like, is it rude if I bend down and hug him? So he just kind of puts his hands on his shoulders like he's his dad at a T-ball fucking, banquet. And he's like rubbing his shoulders. And then you see him get a little Joe Biden-y. So he's like, maybe I shouldn't do that. He's like, should I smell his head? And then you can see Goodell want to pick Brad up. Here we go. Yeah, this is it. See, the handshake's weird, but if you play the video out, like even that woman's like, what is he about to do? We're about to have to put out some statements tomorrow. And Goodell is like right behind Brad, and he almost picked him up, but then also almost hugged him weird. And I was like, dude.
If he would have picked him up, that would have been fun.
Brad's gotten picked up before by a guy that wanted to like Lion King him and dropped him actually. He had a show.
Oh my God.
And he had severe like back issues for a while. He's good now, but that's one thing Brad says is like, don't fucking pick me up. But yeah, dude, I think Goodell is, I think Goodell knows what he's doing. Look, the game has never been better, right? So he's doing something right.
Honestly, it's funny you Brad brought that up because former Texas Tech coach Mike Leach actually rumored to have proposed a play like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember that, Jules? We were looking at that last week.
Don't you love a good YouTube title? Goodell wipes booger on handicap girl. I mean, I can't click fast enough. Oh my God. It's almost like when you see like, there was a video I saw that said gorilla has had enough. And it's a video of a gorilla at this fucking zoo and a kid's tapping on the glass, and then the gorilla just fires one off. Like, and by the way, there was a time I remember going to the zoo where there was no glass. So like and this wasn't the first gorilla to fucking shoot off a load into the stands. Like, there's a kid walking around with an eye patch being like, I remember it was my birthday, it was 1986. And I was, prodding fucking, Tim Tebow Jr. or whoever the gorilla was. And the gorilla, I was on team gorilla when the kid was like poking on the glass, and then when the gorilla woke up and just was like, from his nap, I'm like, now I'm team kid, because I've been woken up from naps, but I was never like, Mom, I said 20 minutes, and shot one off. But the craziest part about the video is the fucking, by the way, the most cum I've ever seen out of anything hits the fucking screen, and the kid doesn't even flinch.
This guy's got nerves of steel.
The kid was almost just like, is that all you got?
Nerves of steel.
Nerves of steel. I'm like, put him in some sort of a, like, I don't know, like a UFC like ring, or he just,
or you got to check
ice in the veins, or you got a serial killer. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
or
he,
you gotta check
who
him.
won the Super Bowl this year?
Ravens.
Ravens.
Blackout Bowl. That was when the lights went out in New Orleans.
against
Cool.
Niners.
That was a good bowl.
Break down this game,
Should we
Jackie.
get into this game real fast? The first half can be summed up with 8 straight punts to start this game.
On
Oh.
Seattle's, yeah.
If you got the over, you're on suicide watch. And 8 sacks of Aaron Rodgers. The defense was getting to him all night. Chris Clemens, 4 sacks in the first half.
Irvin had 2 sacks.
This was the frustrating part about having Russ as a QB, is like he was just so, but again, first year, right?
He's a rookie
Decent numbers, yeah. But it just was like, there were a lot of 3 and outs.
You watched him though. He was springy.
I loved him. He
could run here. This is when he was young, Russ.
Dougie Baldwin told me once that, he and Russ obviously had an amazing connection, I think, in Doug's last few years, right? They set some, I think, offensive record for most TDs, and then I think Russ might have passed it with Tyler Lockett, but he was like, it was a little crazy at times because Russ would scramble so much that and extend plays, but Doug's like, dude, my career was on the line every game because, like, I'm dialed in, I'm trying to make a play, I'm scrambling, but he's like, I didn't know if, like, somebody was going to just come out of nowhere and
blast you.
take me, take me out. So like you see a lot of these great plays they made, but he's like, there's certain times you're like, can I just run the fucking route? Maybe you hit me there,
Yeah, I get it.
436 completions between those guys. 4th most of any QB receiver duo.
I mean, you can't sleep on that.
So in the second half, 7-0 at the half. Green Bay gets 2 field goals, a touchdown. They are up 12-7. That takes us to the final play that we all know. The sequence is 4th and 10, 8 seconds left. Seattle has the ball in the Green Bay 24. Russ drops back to the 40, lets it fly. The ball is pretty much intercepted by MD Jennings, but there's a scrum on the ground. Golden Tate's grabbing for it, all that. One ref signals touchback. The other signals touchdown. Call on the field's touchdown. They go out, review this thing for like 15 minutes.
15.
Chaos on the field.
I remember
No
this.
one knows what the heck is going on.
What the fuck are we doing?
Disorganized as they come. Ultimately,
It's a National Football
call on the
League.
field stands.
It's a
Pete's out there loving
multi-billion-dollar
it.
corporation. We got fucking high school teachers as their fucking refs.
Yeah, I'll never
Pete
forget
there
that
loved
shot.
it.
Pete was loving it.
And it ends up 14-12.
I can't believe they kept it.
It's crazy.
How'd they keep it?
Wait, so Packers won, I think I saw on the last stat sheet, you said they won the next 9 of 10.
Yeah.
What did we do after this?
You guys beat us this year. This is when you mad bro came.
Ooh, that was
This
a
is
fun
when
one.
Sherm said you mad bro to Tom.
That was fun.
When we went out there.
Everybody loved that.
This is when you guys got your swagger.
It is.
This is honestly a great game to go over.
Pretty wild.
Week 6 was the UMad Bro game, only 2 weeks later.
You got
Nope.
hot at the end of the season. Week 12 on won all of those games.
And this is where we got
50-50 in between.
And this is when we lost to Atlanta in the divisional round, which when we were up, I don't know if you remember that, we were up. We late Marshawn touchdown to go up 2, and then literally to Matt Ryan. I think there was 38 seconds left, maybe less. And it was like, all they have to do is get 2 big plays. Just stop a big play and back to back. And then they kicked the field goal as time expired.
Yeah.
But we went to the Super Bowl the next year, but it's like, I think we would have gone that year if we won that.
No, who do you watch these games with? Is there like a Seattle celebrity group?
Yeah, I mean, Joe McHale is a big Hawks fan. Rainn Wilson.
Wilson.
Will
Rainn
Ferrell,
Wilson.
isn't he? Isn't Will Ferrell like him?
Yeah, I think because he's a
Pete Carroll guy.
He was a big Pete guy. Went to SC as well,
That
and
makes sense.
I think Will's got some family in Seattle. All the athletes and shit.
Or are you just
Dave
watching
Matthews?
Because you're touring a bunch. Are you just watching?
I'm usually on the road for the season. Although this year, now that I've gotten, Sam Darnold, Mark Sanchez and I used to have a podcast called Fourth and Forever. It was under the, all the smoke that Steven Jackson,
that
Matt
was great
Barnes.
shit.
We saw the set of that when you did all the smoke.
Yeah.
Over in Santa Monica.
We used
Yes.
to.
Yeah.
So our set was across from theirs, and Showtime Sports was trying to have Mark and I be the football, all the smoke, and it was awesome. And we, I got us Carissa out of the gate, and then it was going to be, and then we had, we went to the Super Bowl and had Jason Kelsey and Deshaun Watson and fucking, and then he had to leave early to go get him. And then we got Miles Teller before Top Gun was supposed to come out before COVID. So Mark was pulling people. I was going to get all these big comedians. It was going to be it was awesome, dude. And Mark and I hit it off right out of the gate. Both SC guys, I was making him looser because like I'm sitting down with the athletes and like busting balls and immediately kind of like making them feel like, oh, this isn't going to be a normal interview like you normally do. It made Mark more comfy. Mark's X's nose. I'm eyes and ears of the fans, but also, trying to come in with some decent questions. And then ultimately, Showtime Sports was like, we just want X's and O's. So they kicked me off and had Mark do it. I wish I still had this drunken voicemail from Mark being like, I'm not doing it without you, man. But he was just getting his broadcast career going. And I was like, bro, you got to do what's best for you. And so he did a bunch of one-on-one interviews and was still fine. It wasn't as fun. But
I work with Sanchito at Fox.
He's the fucking man.
He's
awesome. I love him like a brother. He's so good, and he's just going to continue to get better. But he
I call him Dominic from.
His flow is incredible.
Call him Dominic.
The first guy to do
flow.
The first guy in the booth with a man bun. His hair.
totally. Oh yeah, dude.
I call him
it's
Dominic
unreal.
because he reminds me of Kindergarten Cop, the bad dad.
Oh my God, Dominic.
Yeah,
he does,
but
dude.
the hair. What was the guy's
Bro,
name?
yeah.
He has the
guy,
hair.
He always
I
talk
call-
like this in a
Yes.
real close mouth.
He's a good
Dominic,
villain in the
Come
80s.
with your dad, Dominic.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
That's good.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Maybe Schwarzenegger's not as. Oh, there it is, dude. That's Mark Sanchez.
I'm telling you, is that like Sanchito?
I mean, that's maybe post-op from the surgery, but yeah, that's.
It's good flow.
If Mark wants to transition, that's Mark. That's
I love
Marquita.
Sanchez. He's funny.
He's the man. Sanchez. What a great nickname too.
Really is. Just rolls off the tongue.
Wait, but Sammy Darnold is now our QB, and I met
excited?
Sam. Fired up, Sam. I just went home to Seattle and took Sam and his girl out to lunch. It was their first day in Seattle, and we're going to this place, and I go, "Oh, this is your mall now," and I go, "This is your area," and I'm fired up, dude. I think he's locked the fuck in. He's pumped. I think like he's got a lot of great weapons. I think having a young coach like McDonald is great, and it being Mike's second year is huge.
yeah.
McDonald came out and saw Shane Gillis and I at the arena in Seattle, and it was awesome. And getting just like talking. Shane's a big football guy, so we're all like, beefing it up, and just seeing him be like wanting. So he just was like, and we just missed the playoffs, and he was so fucking like bummed about it. But I'm like, dude, Mike, you came in and kept things moving, dude. You took over like an era of football under Pete, and there was really no drop off. So you have to hang your hat on that. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. And and just so sweet about it. I'm like, yeah, dude, you probably are so in your head and you want to like crush it for the fans, but like you kept it moving in the right direction. And next year's only going to be better because it's actually now he's going in with a full. And so for him and Sam to be going in like together like this, I think is pretty great.
1,000%.
And Milrow from Alabama. That's awesome too.
They say you're going to get him 8 to 6 plays a game.
Bro, they crushed the draft. I don't know, man. We have
What's your favorite pick in the draft from them?
I mean, Gray's able, like the fact that he's like, I'm about to butt fuck a bucket of Bush Light or whatever he said. Like he came out of the gate and he was just. We needed O-line help. I think that's huge.
Yeah, it's always good to get a big boy.
Needs some
You got to
protection for
protect
Sammy.
him. You got to protect the quarterback.
Yeah.
Just to put a quick bow on this game,
Yeah.
Seattle won 14-12. The outcry afterwards was insane. got the quick reinstatement. This thing came to an end quickly. Thursday Night Football, Gene's
King
territory, and the
James
boys were
got
out
in
there.
on it.
Twitter went nuts, and a quick
Rock.
one from referee Wayne Elliott. There was also talk that it should have been pass interference. They also used a rule, the simultaneous catch rule, that didn't really apply. And he famously said, "I learned the rule by screwing up the rule." So I feel like that was that could be applied to a lot in life. But yeah,
Khloe Kardashian, bad day.
Twitter
to
went
be a
nuts.
replacement ref. Yeah.
you know what's bad when Khloe
You know what's
Kardashian's
bad when
kicking you?
Khloe takes out the phone to
Oh man, this
Yeah.
is Khloe in her heyday too.
Crazy.
Khloe in her
bro.
heyday, just all up in it.
And
Wow.
a little moment in Twitter history. TJ Lang, lineman for the Packers, said, "Fuck it, NFL, find me and use the money to pay the regular refs." A little piece of history. That was the most retweeted tweet at the time.
Wow. Troy Aikman, look at him just being like, these games are a joke. Just wearing his heart on his sleeve.
George from the top rope, baby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, they figured it out, though. I mean, look, if it wasn't this game and this play, would have been something else, dude.
This is basically what got the refs paid. So this is a fucking historical game.
Yeah, so you're welcome.
This is what. So the moment that sticks out the most to you is clearly the 24-yard Hail Mary.
Yeah, dude, the fail Mary, as they call it, right? Yeah,
Fail
there
Mary.
it is. I mean, it will be. Look, what's great is that this definitely, I think, started the Hasselback. We're calling heads and we're taking the ball. That, I mean, bro,
We're gonna win. Yeah.
that's like being last at the gangbang and being like, but she's going home with me, fellas. And you're like, all right, you're last though, dude. And there's 6 black guys in front of you. I think the odds are not in your favor. Don't, but
I'm here for the gangbang.
Gotta believe.
yeah, but so you got to believe is the moral of that story. So,
You gotta believe.
but
It's gonna be a hell of a
but
story.
that started the rivalry, and this just took it up a notch.
Yeah, let's score the game. Then we got to name the game first, Adam. So it's the Fail Mary, right?
The immaculate inception, I think they called it too, right?
The inaccurate reception.
Yeah, but I heard the immaculate inception. Was that something else?
That the immaculate reception is.
There was also
That
that,
might
one.
be it.
that was from Steelers in the 70s.
Yeah.
Terry
Yeah.
Bradshaw.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta be Fail Mary in my mind.
The Fail Mary. It's the
Gotta be
Fail Mary
Fail Mary.
game,
Yeah.
right?
Sounds so
Accurate
You
good.
could call it the Tate bait.
Ooh,
I mean, that just rhymes. I don't know if that's a good title, but
I like it though.
What
He
will
did
people
drop a
remember it as,
touchdown
though?
A couple plays earlier.
Russell's coming out party. This is pre-Sierra. You call it
This is true.
pre-Sierra?
Oh,
Because Russell, you could call it pre-Sierra, Russell's coming out party, RCP, because, this definitely was like, oh, this guy's, whether or not the call went your way, I don't know, he escaped, he bombed it out, he gave you a chance, right?
Jesus loves
You down
him.
with RCP?
Jesus loves him. How about Jesus loves you? This was Russell versus Christ. This is Christ coming out party? I don't know. Whatever. I'll email you something
You
better.
gotta pick.
Russell versus Roger? No. Oh yeah, Russ versus Raj.
I don't want to chime in, but it's got to be the Fail Mary, right? That's it has
Yeah,
a
if we're
Wikipedia
going-
page called the Fail Mary.
It's a Fail Mary.
It's a Fail Mary,
It's a
dude.
Fail Mary.
Yeah, dude.
Score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Adam, stakes
Stakes were
0 to 10,
Yeah, stakes were-
decimals okay.
Stakes were a 10 because you're talking about final play of the game. So stakes are always high if you have a chance to
the
win.
game.
Yeah.
Week 3 regular season game.
Oh.
Replacement refs.
Stakes of the.
Well, the refs were there. We thought the replacement refs would be there all season, right? So,
It's okay.
but I think
said so.
game 3, but I think it was rookie quarterback's first TV debut
Okay.
in a season where I remember the hype around this team being like Hawks, this is finally the year. And there was a lot of hype around Russ. ESPN, you're playing Rodgers, you beat the pack. So stakes are high, dude. You got to give it 10 on that.
10. Okay.
hell yeah.
For me, regular season game, do see that it is, Aaron Rodgers MVP the year before, playing
Yeah.
against Russ, new
Yep.
sexy kid,
Yep.
bunch of new stars. So I'm going to go with a 6.
Wow.
6. We've had Super Bowls on here, man. We've had World Cup games. We had goddamn,
went 4.3.
World Series. We had
4.1.
WrestleMania on here. I can't be giving a regular season week 3 game.
All right, well, fucking we
A
go to different Olive Gardens apparently. You go to the one in the Valley, I go to the one downtown next to the Magic Johnson theaters. All right.
Star power 0 to 10. What was the star power of this game? People in the crowd, who was on the field, coaches.
Oh yeah, this star power is huge. You probably got Jay Buhner there. You probably got Gary Payton. You got fucking Dave Matthews there. You got maybe Eddie Vedder makes a stop by. You got Bill Gates. You know, Paul Allen. He's got all the fucking nerds up there. Like everyone, you know, just everyone's up there just like, oh, you know, playing it. So it's, dude, everyone's having a great time. Seattle, Monday night, Thursday night games, Sunday night. Wow, dude. I mean, the
place is electric.
It's electric, dude. I mean, you know, fucking Collinsworth is there. Or I don't know who was calling this game. Tarico
and Gruden.
Gruden. Fuck,
Interesting
I miss Gruden on the
matchup.
mic, dude.
Dude, he's
Because
so
he was
good.
always like, he felt like he was like one fucking vodka soda away from just saying something he shouldn't.
I tell you what,
But
man.
I tell you what, man, like,
Dude, did you
Foghorn
listen to him
Leghorn.
after this? So we were watching. He goes, I don't know how this. I guess he came up with it. He goes, he comes down clearly with the ball, and they gave it to Golden Tate. Like he was so confused on how to say it.
yeah. I mean, it was, great call though.
Star
Power, I'd say every game. This one probably was at a 7.
7.
Yeah,
I would say 7 is a good score.
yeah. There's
Six-
certain. I mean,
I
like
win 6-8,
NFC
so we're in the
Championship.
same
There's a lot
ballpark.
of
Like 6'2"?
really good football players
Oh,
on
yeah.
this field. They weren't them yet.
Star Power for. Oh, I thought you meant like
It could be just in
everything.
general. Everyone, yeah.
In general,
Everything.
all
Oh
encompassing.
no! Well, I mean, look.
Do you wanna go
had-
higher?
If it was, I mean, you have a lot of future stars, but I mean, dude. I mean, every guy on our defense, arguably, was like the best at their position. You
They
know
were
what I'm
really
saying?
good.
Like,
Legion of Boom. They got a
and
fucking
I'm not
name.
being biased.
the
on
Boom.
that. You know, I say an 8 then.
8.
Yeah.
Sir.
The gameplay of the game that you said you like scoring games in, high scoring games in,
Yeah.
but the gameplay of this 14 to 13
Gameplay was a little whack for me because it's a no for me, dog. But it
14, 13, 12,
14, 12.
12.
They made him come out and do the extra point,
You can't,
which was weird.
Yeah, this
Wow.
was like a little league score, like where like the dads are getting fucked up in the stands. Like there's a parent fight. At some point they're like, it was 9-0, and they're like, just call the game. But like one of the moms was like, my son's been practicing all week, and she was like, you know, on the committee to get like new jerseys. So like they kept going. So I'd
And they
say,
came back.
and they came back. Gameplay was again Russ. This was not his best game. So offensively, the performance was lacking something. I'd say gameplay was a 6.
6. There was a last second play to
I-
win the game.
Honestly, for me,
in
Yeah,
theory.
but to
I'm going to go 6.9.
wasn't a
Nice,
clean cut
nice.
win. You know,
Yeah.
like
No,
Yeah.
but there was also really good defensive play. That defensive line for both teams.
you're
was
right.
Fucking
Lot
like
of
You're right. It was a
sacks.
defensive battle.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I
shouldn't
went
be
full
just-
Russian judge 3-9. Jeez, what was I doing?
That's
Russian
6-1.
Whoa,
Jack.
easy
I'm
poo.
sorry,
6-1.
guys. I forgot I scored it. that way.
Gosh.
Wow.
Mamma mia.
And then lastly, we score the name of the game.
Mamma mia. Guy says I went
Why'd they
full
go full
Russian
Italian?
judge, then does a fucking Maggiano's
Jeez,
waiter impression.
I just, oh my,
Hey,
I couldn't
Russian,
believe
I mean,
it.
hey, I went full Russian. Mamma mia over here.
I don't.
Anyway,
I
that's
never
my
go
time.
this
Thanks a
low.
lot, Detroit.
God, Maron.
Holy
I never go
shit.
3-9s. Jesus. Come on, what is getting into me?
Now we score the name of the game, the Fail Mary, and how this is culturally. I mean, this game is remembered.
Yeah.
We're talking about this
People
game.
remember
here.
the Titans, then remember this. You know? And not in that
Cried
order.
in that movie.
Left
We
side.
Cried
talked about
so-
crying in a movie.
Bro,
Strong side, left side. You know how many times I cry every time I see that?
how many?
As many times I watch it.
Yeah, I know. It gets you every time. They do that. I mean, and when they're and when they go visit him in the hospital, and he's like, "Go out there and win it for me." And then they cut to him. He's watching the game on the little TV, and that movie is wild. Also, Denzel just, I mean, you know, incredible. I was about to do a Denzel, but I don't have it in me. Call Jay Farrell. Yeah, that movie's great. Who's the actor that plays the other coach that has to step aside? Who's coaching like?
Oh, yeah.
He's
The
like,
guy in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
He's a just great character actor. And then not Haley Joel Osment, but
Hayden
Hayden
Panettiere.
Panettiere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid.
My
She
high
was
school
really good.
quarterback used to date her.
Ryan Gosling's in that movie.
Will Patton.
Will Patton.
Will Patton. Ryan
Donald
Gosling was
Faison.
in that movie. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
Sunshine.
Who, dude, Gosling is like one. Like, you ever see Angels in the Outfield?
Yeah.
Adrian Brody and McConaughey are just chilling in the outfield.
I saw that too, actually.
Wow, I forgot Brody. I remember McConaughey. Jeez.
I always watch McConaughey interviews, and I remember him referencing it once. So
He, there's probably on YouTube. I did this short-lived podcast with Chuck Liddell. A buddy of mine was putting together for him, and he was like, "I think you did the show with Mark. I think you beat Chuck's new on the mic." So I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's try it out." We did about 10 eps, but we got to do McConaughey over Zoom. I mean, I just ran the show because I'm just like, you know, and Chuck was just, you know, hey, did you ever play Sega Game Gear? No. And so I was like, Chuck, I got this. Matt, when you were doing Dazed and Confused, Chuck is the fucking man, by the way.
I love Chuck.
And
He got
had
him on the
him
show. He was here last
Bro,
month.
he's the nicest guy I think
is.
I've ever met. He's a big teddy bear. I ran into him in the street walking up to the Laugh Factory one night, and he snapped my back in 9 places. And is just the sweetest guy. And I will say this, he got so comfy on the mic that I was really bummed it ended, because when we would do episodes just he and I, it was as loose as we're talking now.
Yeah.
Anyway, great dude. But McConaughey told a great story about Angels in the Outfield. Quick other McConaughey tangent. We just did a Dr. Phil live in Austin at this place called Bass Concert Hall, which is on UT's campus.
Yeah.
2,500 seat theater, sold out. I'm doing the meet and greet. My wife comes up and goes, I think McConaughey was here. I go, shut the fuck up. She's like, yeah. And then the woman who was like, yeah, he comes to hear a lot for UT stuff, but like he was here with his family. Apparently he's a fan and wanted to see the show. And I was like, fucking. So I immediately hit him up on Instagram. Nothing back. But he,
All right.
oh man, dude. But I'm like, oh, dude, he's one of my favorite actors.
He's a great. He's
So good.
he's a guy you want to hang out with.
1,000%.
He plays that character in every movie.
You want to have tequila with him. You also want to that
I want to
if you're-
smoke pot and just pick his brain.
bro, I want to get so high with him and be like, and at some point he'll just be like, hey, you know the same guy who wrote the Gummy Bears theme song also wrote the movie The Departed?
That's
And you're like-
exactly.
What? He's like, just kidding. Major look. You should have seen your fucking face, man. You really think the Gummy Bears guy wrote The Depart? But he's that cool that you're like, you also want to
you would believe anything.
You want to believe everything. He's
Did
like,
you know the director of Tar invented Big League Chew? The movie with Kate Blanchett? That's true.
dude,
Todd Field.
fun facts. You guys
Shout
need a
out.
segment called just fun. Like call it
Snapple facts.
dude, there it is.
Can we cut
And
the
you
check,
sponsor
Snapple? Cut the
Snapple.
check.
Jules facts.
The name of the game.
So this
we
is
got
the
to
score
score
of the
the
game.
name.
Cultural relevance of this game.
10.
10. Okay.
Bro, they got new refs.
I would say a 9.
It's-
I would say a 9.
Yes.
Dude.
It literally.
The fucking Price is Right $1.
8.9. 8.9
At
for me.
8.7. Shout out Gronk.
Where does it rank on our list of games that we have
Come
done?
on, baby.
6.99.
Whoa, nice.
Okay, cool. So 6.99. Put
Somewhere a
check.
frat bro is pumping his fist.
6.99
6.99. So close.
ties it with for 65th. with
Angels in the outfield?
You're welcome.
21-31 game, 1995 game 122 Angels versus Orioles, also known as the it's the Cal Ripken Iron Man streak
Iron Man.
game.
Yeah, that was a
With
good one.
Lewis Black. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, Cowboys Seahawks 64. That was when Romo fumbled the ball, right?
That's right.
Yes, yeah, we did
A lot
it.
of good
with
games, man.
Colin Cowherd.
Yeah.
Another Seattle guy.
Do
Coward.
you remember this game? The week 12, same season. Seahawks. Is this the same season? Seahawks and Cardinals.
Oh yeah, it was like a 9-6 game or something.
It was like 55-0
oh, that one. Oh, with Carson
Yeah.
Palmer Cardinals, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but he was out. It was
I
like
think he was
backup,
hurt. They had like the backup to backup. Who?
Jesus
Hornberger
Christ.
came and talked
Hornberger did
about
that when he was on the Cardinals.
Wow.
Yeah, he said it was the worst game of all time.
Cool.
Adam, we miss anything from this game?
No, dude, we covered it all, dude. We covered it all. AdamRayComedy.com for all my tour dates. Dr. Phil Live, we've got about 8 left. Casey, Indy, Reno, Atlantic City, Cape Cod.
Ooh, Cape Cod, I might have to go to that.
Whoa.
Come out.
What's that date?
We're doing the that whatever festival.
We'll
that's out
figure it,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, August 6th. Well, you won't come out and run it back. Let's figure that
No,
out.
definitely. You guys got to go check out these live shows. They're fucking fun.
You had a good time, right?
They're super engaging with the crowd. It's not just like you're going to watch something. You're like involved in something when you're at the show. It was a really cool thing, and I enjoyed doing it, man.
You
was
ripped it, man.
fun.
I mean, what's so cool about that is that, and people went nuts when you came out too. I mean, that was extra special. I mean, we had Matt Rife and Cam Patterson, but dude, the roof blew off when you came out. And having that hype video for you, we've done that for a few other people. We did it for, Tom Lennon from Reno 911 in Austin, and we did it for Chevy Chase in Chicago, and Adam Devine in San Francisco, and it's just like a cool way to. Jelly Roll did it in Nashville. It was a surprise, but you obviously being such a hometown hero for people there was wild. And then you were so fun to play with. If you're down to clown, dude, that's again like we've only ever had a few people that come on and just kind of clam up, and I have to drive the ship a little bit more. But like you were like you jumped in, and we'd only chatted briefly at the Super Bowl, so that was pretty cool, man.
No, it was fun. I mean, just go. You got to play the hits.
Yeah, dude.
You just got to play the hits. Tell the stories they want to hear.
No, but we hit no, but not even though. I mean, you did a little bit, but it was awesome. It was and you're right. Involving the crowd is a big part of the show. And
Dude,
you
your
got to break
crowd
that
work.
fourth wall.
I've got to meet you a few times. It's been awesome. Everyone go out and follow Adam Ray on all the social platforms at Adam Ray Comedy. Go check out his shows. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, big stand-up tour too right now. I mean, it's the Phil shows. There's maybe 8 left, and then we're done. And then huge stand-up tour in the fall, and probably about 30 dates throughout the rest of the year. But yeah.
Thanks for coming, bro.
This ruled, dude.
Appreciate it. Man, that was awesome.
He's great.
I mean, Seattle.
Being a Seattle fan, but then also going to USC, and then you could ride that Pete Carroll train for a decade is awesome.
Yeah. It's time for a little game we call Jackass. It's time for a little game we call Jackass.
Why'd you determine to like really pronunciate that correctly this time?
Well, because I misread it, and you know I'm terrible with the prompter.
Nailed it, bro. You nailed it.
Jackass.
It's a real Jay Leno type beat title.
It's kind of like Jackass.
Yes.
Man, how fucking great was that show?
Oh my God, bro. The boys.
What is this
Pontius?
Jackass? What is this I like Party Boy.
Oh, Chris Pontius is awesome. I still think we should remake Wild Boys with you and Rob, but whatever.
Those guys are crazy.
You gotta throw up every episode just like them.
No, man. I remember when Steve-O, for the first time on MTV, he swallowed that goldfish and he threw it up, like, pull a trigger. I was like, oh, my God. And then the carts with Bam. I mean, I loved those guys. That's the only reality TV I really watched was, like, Jackass and, like, some of those old, like, real world road rules challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The best, baby. And if you weren't recreating that in your cul-de-sac, what are you doing?
Oh my God, we were so stupid. We would never go full Jackass, but like you jump into bushes.
Do it enough.
But those guys are doing like 30-mile-an-hour carts into a bush, which like you get hurt. You like get stitches and shit.
Yeah, they have a lot of broken bones.
Imagine if you
Johnny Knoxville. How about him making it a career?
Legend,
what a
bro.
stud.
He's still out there in the game.
Still acting.
I just saw him in the studio the other day.
Oh yeah,
He's
was great
awesome.
in that.
Yeah.
Beast.
You know what? All those guys. I mean, Bam's kind of been up and down, but I loved his show and his dad and that whole thing.
Imagine if you treated Frank like Bam treated his dad and mom. Phil and whatever name was.
Vito.
And Uncle Vito.
I know.
You think Frank would have any of that?
I would try to do stuff like that, but my dad, like, he was nimble and like could get me.
Yeah, Phil was an easy target.
Frank
bro.
would catch you once. And it would be end of show.
But at that time in my life, my dad was still young.
Oh, true. He was spry,
that
baby.
was 20 years ago. My dad was 38, 40 or something. What is he, 50? My dad's 64, 65, 20 years ago. He's 45. That's like 20 years of prime, like, man.
One more thing on
man.
Jackass. Something gets lost in the shuffle with Jackass is Spike Jonze was heavily involved creatively, and Spike Jonze is an insane actor, insane director. It's kind of, you wouldn't think of him to be in that group, but he was.
Legend, bro. Yeah. Beast.
All right, let's do the core stuff so we can...
Okay, it's time for the Chill Zone, brought to you by Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DWN. Celebrate responsibly. Those mountains are always blue. That's when you know it's time to be cool.
Cheers, boys.
Now Jack asks.
Now we do Jackass.
Here we go. Jack, what's
I'm
Jack?
over here thinking about Phil and April, bro, and Bam Margera.
April.
Busting in there. I know it took me a minute. Busting
April's
in the bedroom.
mom. Bam was rolling around like a fucking Lamborghini and shit.
Bam!
In like Ohio or something. Where was they? Cincinnati?
Pennsylvania
They're
or
like
something?
deep, yeah, Pennsylvania, like
Remember Camp Kill Yourself
somewhere outside
before
of
CKY?
CKYS.
No CKY. Dude, those guys are nuts.
Because that was like Bam's brother or something.
DVDs, baby. The DVD era. Whew.
That's when like
I wasn't
skate,
DVD.
skate
I had
tapes
fucking
were
VHS
cool. You go
of
get a
CKY.
skate tape. Watch the fucking dude. That's where all that shit was. Because on the skate tape, they'd have their fish eyes.
Molding young minds, bro.
In between like their like tricks, they would be doing hella crazy ass shit. I used to watch some of that shit.
That's like where Robin Big was born, yeah. Anyways,
What is Jackass, Jack?
this is me putting my dog
Jack.
on the lukewarm seat. The hot seat, not quite. The
tepid
lukewarm.
seat.
We're talking the would you rathers. We're talking the questions that make you think. You got to sit for a second.
oh shit.
What would I do in this situation? These are the ones that people want to
Kind
know.
of like if 100 men got to fight a fucking silverback
Yes,
gorilla.
I literally cut that question.
Yeah, we had
from this
100
segment.
Julian Edelman's versus one gorilla.
I don't know, bro. After I see the first Julian Edelman get his arms ripped out and fucking decapitated,
And then the
I
gorilla
think
starts
the other
using their
Julians
arms as
are
weapons.
Smart.
And they run.
Fucking what the fuck? You gotta have you have to have a plan of attack for that.
Yes.
Like it can't be just like every man for himself. You got to go in waves. You got to try to get eyeballs. You got to have people like grabbing dick, poking every pressure point. If you're at something, you got to pull hair, poke eyes,
Bite.
You may get an eye poke, but as soon as he hits you, you're dead.
So you got to get
the other guy,
formations.
if you see eyes released, other guy go for eye.
Oh, I like that.
You're always going for like all those. I don't know, man. I thought about it.
We're fighting dirty,
What
baby.
does AI say?
You may look.
At this point, just so you know, we're like a week and a half past this trend.
I know, but I've been thinking about it a lot.
Well, if you
That and
want
the
some more
Roman
information, thinking
Always
about
think about the Roman Empire. It's fucking weird.
The Roman Empire is your Roman Empire.
slightly more topical.
I think they probably did this in the
I was
Roman
gonna
Empire.
say, although were they getting gorillas? I don't think they were getting gorillas then.
Bro, they were getting like alligators and shit up to Rome.
Yeah, but alligators are easy. That's
North Africa.
Crocodiles. That's fucking yeah. But gorillas, you got to get like deep into Africa.
Bro,
Dude, I'm on ChatGPT over here.
They have rhinos. Rhinos? I don't believe that. You just watched Gladiator 2.
what does the ChatGPT say?
Physical comparison. Silverback gorilla, approximately 400 pounds of muscle, can deadlift over 1,800 pounds. Was he got an Equinox membership? Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
You think he uses the hex bar
has a
or just
bite-
like the straight bar?
Has a bite force of 1,300 PSI, thick skin, massive bones, freakish strength. Julian Edelman, on the other hand, 5'10", 198. Accurate?
What's his bite
195
strength?
right now. 193.
What's Jules's bite strength?
Bite strength, oh man, got to be at least 1,000 PSI. I don't know. His grip strength is good. I know that much. Elite agility.
How do you know that, Jack?
We do the tester, bro. We do grip strength. We do the grip strength. I know. Elite agility, toughness, and coordination, in parentheses, as a football player. In real life, too.
What does ChatGPT say?
He is not trained for combat, and he is certainly not trained against apex strength animals. 100 versus 1, sure, 100's a lot, but Julian is still a human with bones that break and no claws, no fangs. If they swarm perfectly, the Julians might land some blows, but most likely not enough to overwhelm the gorilla. Before many get incapacitated. The verdict: the gorilla wins in most realistic scenarios. Anyways, all right, ready?
All right,
Are you ready
let's do it.
to get on the hot seat? Jules, the first question in this week's edition of Jack asks: no burgers or no burritos for the rest of your life?
Oh my God.
Talk about a would you rather. Ooh,
That's tough.
it ain't easy, brother.
That's tough. You know what I do? Because I have Taco Tuesday every fucking Tuesday with my daughter. And
Yeah.
It's the same shit because she loves Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Sometimes I'll save a little In-N-Out sauce
Ooh, oh,
and I'll make like a burger taco with like American cheese and the Mexican or the Mexican flavored like ground
Yeah.
turkey or whatever.
right.
So you could make burgers through the Mexican.
So you're killing burger?
I might have to kill.
Wow, the star of burger
No,
time
actually,
is
I hear that. You can scratch the burger itch.
I can scratch
through-
burger itch
yeah.
through other shit. Like if I
That's
get
genius.
a meatloaf.
Yeah. Like that taco place down the street, Escuela. They've got that burger with the pickle in it.
Yeah.
It gives burger.
You know, that's tough, bro.
That's the kind of ingenuity and out of the box thinking that it's going to take to beat that gorilla. I like that. That's a good answer.
You know, while we're talking about burgers,
Yeah.
I'm happy that I love a smash burger and I love the toppings on a smash burger. I love that we're getting a rejection of this. We're going back to thicker patties.
Have we? I've been out.
There's a few places that are like going back.
Not too thick.
You know,
though. Only
actually,
too thick.
There's enough.
I said I've been out of the burger game, but I went to Vancouver. I went to 2 burger joints. Forgot the names. Pretty damn good. One was Smash. One was the other. Went to Tahoe. Found like a Dutch Goose type place right in Incline Village, which is like an old burger joint I used to go to in Menlo Park. So I went to another burger joint. Like I haven't been to the bougie or the like hipster smash burger joint in a minute or like the trendy this.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I feel you.
I'm going burrito.
Let's
I
do
want
it.
burritos.
I like it. That's a good
I love
verdict.
burritos.
Same.
Like, because when I lived in Boston, you could get a burger there. You can't get burrito. You know, this is a
There's
great
one
burrito,
place.
right?
There's
Huh?
one place in Boston.
What, Julisca's?
No, Teresa's Market in
Nah,
Brighton.
that used to be in the gas station, right?
No, it's a different place.
I like
That place was good,
Jalisco's over in East Boston.
Yeah, East Boston's got some good spots.
I specially make a burrito every time I order it in. And they go, salsa in the burrito? I go, every time. Yeah, salsa in the burrito. Call it the Julieto.
I like that, baby.
Well, perfect for the next question.
Is
Jack.
that a segue or what? Oh, my goodness gracious. I wrote these
Shout
when I was
out
hungry.
Jalisco's.
Shout out, baby. Jules, if there was a Julian Edelman sandwich at a local deli, what would be on it?
Whitefish,
Capers?
cream cheese?
Nah, it'd be pretty boring. But it's all in the bread.
Ooh,
It's all in the bread. Like,
Dutch Crunch?
it's either Dutch Crunch or sourdough.
I like that.
A sourdough produced in the Bay Area, so I get a real sourdough. None of this bullshit from other areas. Doesn't taste the same.
None of
It's
this
sour,
Arnold
and my jaw
process,
needs
yeah.
my jaw needs to be tired by the time I'm done eating my fucking sandwich, where I'm chewing it so much. Seriously, that's how you know you got good chewy ass like sourdough or like a good Dutch Crunch, because Dutch Crunch is got that sweet layer of bread on top, and that's why you get that tiger effect, because they put the same dough but they extra sugar it and they put it on top, and so it cracks at the top and it gets crunchy, and then but it's also a sweet bread. So I would start baseline either a sourdough or Dutch Crunch, but I would go French roll, probably French sourdough, that like a Boudin, like they have really good shit. And then I'd probably go with lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, banana pepper or peppercini,
Like that.
but dry peppercini. Like, we're not gonna fucking soak the bread. all
Right.
I hate soggy bread. I hate it. And then lettuce, mustard, mayonnaise,
What kind of mustard?
yellow mustard.
Is the lettuce
okay?
shredded? Shredded lettuce?
I like an iceberg crisp cold lettuce,
I like that.
okay.
The thinking man's lettuce.
and I like
yep.
a thin tomato.
It can defend against
Very
the
thin.
sauce.
Like I don't need my tomato to be dripping its guts all over my goddamn sandwich.
I'm with
okay?
you.
You're just
Heirloom?
there for a hint.
Yep.
Heirloom tomato? Salt, pepper?
Ernie. That'd be the Ernie sandwich. Okay. And then I would either go with like a salsalito turkey of
Yes.
some kind of turkey
Yep.
that has kind of like some kind of taste, or they always have like a salsalito turkey at like the delis I go to, or like I don't like peppered turkey.
Oh, I love pepper turkey.
I like it, but I don't want. I want like the one with like a Cajun or like a Mexican or some kind of
Mesquite turkey.
spice.
The fine folks at Boar's Head make a nice salsalito.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then for cheese, I'm pretty low key with it. Like I like a Havarti or like a pepper jack. I remember I dated this girl. She was from France. She goes, "Those aren't even cheeses. They have no taste."
Yeah, take your brie. All right.
No, because it's like, Swiss cheese is distinct, and
Right.
you know what I mean. You gotta the salt taste. You say you gotta have the salt taste with it. But
You should have put her on craft singles,
so
bro.
you just a turkey sandwich.
yeah, turkey.
just-
But
that
it's
was
the bread.
That's
It's
great.
just a turkey sandwich.
Or I love bologna, like
Yeah.
I like a poor boy, like an American with like bologna, lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, bologna, American cheese. It's got to be American cheese, like a good German bologna or something.
I
or
like
like
that.
or like not. I don't like mortadella.
Okay.
Because I don't like the fucking olives in there or the
Yeah.
pistachios.
There's a lot going on there.
I like it. It does it takes if I want a bologna taste. But I like that. My mom used to she likes like bologna sandwiches and shit. So
Shout
it
out
kinda reminds
Angie.
me- salt and pepper. She used to put no mustard mayonnaise for hers. I like mustard mayonnaise on mine, but you have to have the salt and pepper on the tomatoes.
I used to be my go-to at Subway. They put it on like a round roll.
Bologna?
Yeah, back in the day, bro.
I didn't know
You're getting,
Subway
you're
had
getting
way
a
back.
round roll, like a bulky roll?
Oh, back in the day, yeah.
I like the Oscar Mayer.
This is back when the Subway like had
The distinct smell.
yeah. It's good.
Put that baby on a
Cut the edges,
Little pan
fry
that
it in
gets
there.
you a hot dog.
That's right, baby.
Some
Little
white
fried
bread.
bologna Sammy. I like that. How about we move on here, Jules, for another one. This is to let the people inside what you're doing to keep that body looking so tight. What is your fitness routine like in retirement?
just squatted today.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, I got up 350. I go 3. I stay at 315. I try to squat because if I squat at least once, twice a week, everything else will fall in place. And then I just walk a lot. I play golf a lot, but I have to. The squatting like makes me feel good. You can mask pain with strength. So if I keep my legs strong, like not stupidly strong, but like if you keep them strong, I'm usually feeling pretty decent. But I squat. I'll do like beach workout shit. I'll hit the abs.
Nice.
Over our time as a professional athlete, you've done so many different fucking core workouts. So I can knock out a core workout off of like memory of one of my a-hole strength coaches that used to punish us with them. But like you could do I always do like some core. I'll do like, I can't bench or anything because my shoulders are fucked. So like I try to stay strong with using the dumbbells, and I don't like to get too heavy with it because I don't want to get too bulky.
Boxer, stay boxer
squat.
ripped.
Yeah, I like to squat. I mean, then also it keeps you young. And I'll go out and run every once in a while. If I put my cleats on, I'll go run at Santa Monica Junior College, community college in the morning. I'll see like the kids playing, like the teams will be coming out soccer and stuff.
Shout out Steve Smith Sr. and Chad Ochocinco. Yeah.
But I'll sneak over there every once in a while and I'll because I can't run without cleats because I have bad feet. I broke my feet. So I need like structured, like strength when I'm like running or like working my feet. But when I go to my daughter's soccer, so I do that. I'll do some field work here and there every once in a while just to see if I can still do it, which I can't. And it's very humbling. And then I walk a bunch. So I'll take my daughter to practice and like they'll go through the fundamentals and shit. And that's like, they'll start doing all those drills and it's like 45 minutes. So I'll go walk for 1 hour. I'll go straight to the beach and back, which is like 18 blocks. And there's like some inclines and stuff. And I'll like, sometimes I'll do like, I'll go up the hills backwards and like try to work my quads and shit. You know what I mean? Or I'll drop my ass and try to get my glutes.
I love that.
People are walking by like, who the fuck is this idiot?
Dude, I'm maximizing my walk.
Doing stuff or lunges and stuff. I'll fucking, if I feel like my legs, I need something, I'll just start doing shit.
Nobody knows your own body better than you, baby.
Yeah.
That's tight. How about a little topical one here? All in the news right now with the draft just wrapping up. If you were Will Campbell, what would you do right now? What would be your first move?
Will Campbell. I would try to get Dante Scarnecchio's number.
Facts.
Talk to him. I say, hey, Coach Scar, I'll live and die to protect Drake May, but I need to know how. I need to know how. I want you to teach me the way. He needs to go find fucking Yoda, which Scar is Yoda.
And Dagobah.
And he needs to go.
Say Mr. Miyagi, but same thing.
Whatever. And he needs, because if he has that opportunity, or just find, a coach in the team.
You got Doug Marone.
Yeah, Coach
Doug
Marone with
also.
bologna sandwiches.
Yep, get a bologna
big bologna guy.
Yeah,
or Josh. And really, watch some film and just work hard each day and really take this as this is your life. And you could see through his interviews, that's how he's going to treat it. But, I would find someone who knows, who's seen guys in his position succeed and ask them, how can I? What do I have to do? That's what I would do.
Love that.
Logan Mankins is local.
Logan Mankins.
Matt
knows a
Light's
thing or two.
local.
What I would do, I would call Logan, or I don't think Logan carries a phone, but I'm sure you can get his address, and I guarantee if you go to his house at 3:45 on a snowy day, he'll be outside shoveling his big ass yard.
You should intern at Logan Mankins' farm.
Yeah, that's what he should do.
Grab a lane at the YMCA next to Scar.
And lights
Take him
over there
swimming.
somewhere too. Go do the shootout. Because I know he loves
shootout. He's going to be at the shootout.
He's going to be at the shootout.
100%.
That light is going to have Campbell at the shootout, guaranteed. I guarantee that.
Guaranteed.
Man, he's like, we talked about it on Dudes, but it sounds like he's plugged into the Games with Names lore.
I know. He heard the light story.
Yeah.
It's an honor, baby. We love it.
He followed us right away, too. Games with
Fuck
Names.
We
yeah.
love it. And finally, Jules.
Follow him right away.
Of course.
Okay, that's an identity pick, man.
Hey, he's
Look
got.
what happened to, the Chargers. There was a bunch of sexy receivers out there to get for their beautiful quarterback. What'd they get? They got Joe Alton. They made the playoffs.
Hey, he's a weapon.
He's a weapon, just like Harbaugh said.
Yeah.
That's right. Since this is the Chill Zone, sponsored by our friends at Coors Light, Jules, who is one person you'd like to share a cold Coors Light with?
One person to share a Coors Light with. I think I would like to share Coors Light with Tom Hardy.
Wow, that's good. He's a cool dude.
Have you watched Bronson yet?
I haven't watched
That's
that.
on your
or there's a
homework.
he's got a new movie I see on, because when you live in Los Angeles, for all the listeners, you know, I'm used to living in Boston, and in the billboards, I commuted to work. So you see the billboards. Billboards are all like local establishments,
Chambers, Prime Motor
football.
Group.
Out here, you could see when you're driving around, it's like what movie's out, what's this out, and it's crazy.
It's
like
naked
crazy
ladies
to
in
see
movies.
what your city's priorities are.
And insurance
according
people.
to, you know, the
Shout out Jacoby and Myers.
Jacoby Myers. He's always out here. They got insurance. Tom Hardy's a badass. Like I read up on that story where he like won a jiu-jitsu thing. He's a very, like, the quotes you hear come out, or from what at least I see, I don't know if it are his quotes, but they say they are. He just seems like a cool dude that like is a salt of the earth, simple man, does his craft, and then like improves his being at all times. And I want to know like the motivation of that. I think he'd be a great dude to have a Coors Light with.
I love that.
He's a talented dude. Watch Bronson. Like, seriously, like,
I know I need to.
you'll fucking love that movie.
Been watching all this goddamn draft shit. It's fucking hard.
All right, I think that's enough. That's enough.
I love it. That was fun.
And he's in Mobland right now.
Mobland.
Yeah,
but
Team
there's
I
gotta
also
start that
another
on
one. So
Paramount.
there's a new movie that he's coming out in, like a Netflix one. I saw on the, it's like
Havoc.
Havoc. Yeah, Havoc.
Cool. Yeah,
I
he's,
like his look. Like when he gives you that fucking like crazy fucking I want to kill you look. I like that look. That thing. He's got a cool look.
Have you started Mobland yet?
I haven't.
We need to, bro.
I know, I
Paramount.
know.
Guy Ritchie, shout out.
Well, that was the Chill Zone. Thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN. Celebrate responsibly. Well, what a game. And thanks again to Adam Ray. That's been another episode of Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember,
Rate and review.
and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify while you're there. Those 5 stars. I need a 5-star. What was that one song? I remember the.
I need a 5-star chick. A 5-star chick.
I need a 5-star Spotify on that shit. Remember to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. Leave a comment on the YouTube full episodes. We'll read the best ones out in future episodes. Those are always fun and alarming. Leave a message on the hotline at 424-291-2290. We'll see you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.